area, inaasahan natin na ang layo nito ay nasa 165 kilometers timog kanluran ng Subic, Zambales. So posible po na bukas ang sentro nito ay nasa labas ng landmass natin. Pero yung diameter niya, ipapaalala po natin, malawak ito, almost 800 kilometer diameter. So yung radius po niya na 400 kilometer, makakaapekto pa rin sa Metro Manila, sa Cavite, Batangas, sa natitirang bahagi pa ho ng Calabarzon at maging sa Mimaropa region. After 48 hours, inaasahan natin na ang sentro nitong bagyo ay nasa layo na po ng 515 kilometers kanluran ng Subic, Zambales. May kalayuan na po ito pero aasahan pa rin natin medyo may epekto pa rin ho ito. Kaya by Thursday morning, posible pa rin ho may mga pag-ulan pa rin sa kanlurang bahagi ng Southern Luzon at maging ng Central Luzon. Habang by Friday morning, in the next 72 hours, inaasahan natin nasa labas na ng PAR ang sentro ni Bagyong Tisoy. Uulitin lamang po natin yung progression para po meron po tayong, hindi po natin makalimutan yung track niya at may idea po tayo. Sa ngayon po ay nasa Burias Island na ito at in the next 24 hours tatahakin nito yung mga isla dito sa Mimaropa region, particular ho dito sa Marinduque, sa Romblon, sa Occidental at Oriental Mindoro, and then before finally exiting the landmass. Pero po in the next 48 hours, inaasahan na po natin na nasa layo na po ito ng 515 kilometers kanluran ng Subic, Zambales. At 72 hours so by Friday morning, nasa labas na po ito ng ating area of responsibility. Sa kasalukuyan ho, nakataas pa rin ang warning signals o wind signals sa mga lalawigang ito. So kung mapapansin po natin, napakalawak ho ng sakop. Simula po sa southern portion ng Northern Luzon hanggang sa halos buong Visayas, nakataas ang ating signal. Pero iisa-isahin po natin yan. Ang signal number 3 ngayon ay nakataas sa Catanduanes, Camarines Sur, Albay, Sorsogon, Camarines Norte, Masbate, kasama dyan ang Ticao at Burias Island. Maging dito po sa Romblon, nakataas din ang signal number 3. Signal number 3 din ho sa southern portion ng Quezon, particular ho sa mga municipalities ng Perez, Alabat, Quezon, Mauban, Sampaloc, Lucban, Tayabas, Pagbilao, Lucena, Sariaya, Candelaria, Dolores, Tiaong, San Antonio, Antimonan, Padre Burgos, Agdangan, Plaridel, Unisan, Pitogo, Gumaca, Lopez, Macalelon, General Luna, Calawag, Ginayangan, Tagkawayan, Buena Vista, Mulanay, San Narciso, San Francisco at maging sa San Andres. Habang signal number 3 rin ho sa Marinduque, Oriental Mindoro, Occidental Mindoro, kasama na dyan ang Lubang Island, Batangas, Cavite at Laguna. So halos lahat ng ito, mga lalawiging ito, nakapaloob po yan sa Southern Luzon. Signal number 2 rin ho. So okay, signal number 2 na po tayo. Dito sa Metro Manila, nakataas pa rin ang ating signal number 2 sa Bulacan, Bataan, Tarlac, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Southern Aurora, sa Rizal, sa natitirang bahagi pa ng Quezon, including Polillo Islands, Calamian Islands, Cuyo Islands, Zambales, at sa dito ho sa Pangasinan. Samantalang signal number 2 din sa ilang bahagi ng Visayas, particular na sa Northern Samar, Eastern Samar, Biliran, Aklan, Capiz, Antique, Iloilo, Guimaras, northern portion ng Negros Occidental at sa Northern Cebu maging sa Leyte. Uulitin po natin, yung signal number 3 po, ito po yung sa ngayon ay nakakaranas ng violent winds at mga torrential rains. So yun yung currently ay naapektuhan ng Typhoon Tisoy, habang ang signal number 2 po inaasahan natin in the next 12 to 18 hours pa ho yan. So lead time po yan. Ibig sabihin, wag po tayo magtaka kung sa ngayon ay kalmado at walang masyadong pag-ulan dahil inaasahan natin sa mga susunod na oras makakaranas po tayo ng mga pag-ulan at pamisa-misa pagbugso ng hangin doon sa mga nakataas ang signal number 2. Habang signal number 1 naman sa Southern Isabela, sa partikular na ho dito sa municipalities ng Palanan, Tinapigues, San Mariano, San Guillermo, Benito Soliven, Nagilian, Reyna Mercedes, Luna, Aurora, Cabatuan, San Mateo, Kawayan City, Alicia, Angadanan, Ramon, San Isidro, Icague, Corgon, Santiago City, Ahones at maging sa San Agustin. Signal number 1 din ho sa Mountain Province, Ifugao, Benguet, Nueva Vizcaya, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Quirino, Resto, Aurora at maging sa northern portion ng Palawan. Signal number 1 pa rin sa natitirang bahagi ng Negros Occidental, sa Negros Oriental, sa Bohol, Siquijor, natitirang bahagi ng Cebu at maging sa Southern Leytes. Kung mapapansin po natin, inilift na po natin, inalis na natin ang signal number 1 doon po sa parte ng Dinagat Islands at Surigao del Norte. Kaya dito po naman sa mga nakataas ang signal number 1, pinaghahanda pa rin natin at pinagiging alerto pa rin ng ating mga kababayan dahil posible pa rin sila makaranas ng isolated o mga occasional gusty winds o paminsan-minsan pagbugso ng hangin. Samantala, ipapakita lang ho natin for the past 12 hours, ito po yung naging rainfall doon ho sa mga lugar particular ho sa Bicol. Sa Legazpi, Albay, siya po ang nakapagtala so far ng pinakamataas na rainfall ngayon, umabot sa 166 millimeters. Kaya talagang posibleng-posible yung mga pagbaha doon, pag-apaw ng ilog, posible rin ho sa taas ng rainfall na-observe natin. And then, sumunod po dyan yung Catbalogan City, 126 millimeters of rainfall. Sa Catanduanes naman ay 116 millimeters. Samantalang sa Masbate City ay 108.4 millimeter of rainfall. Sa Huban, Sorsogon ay 75 millimeter. Daet Camarines Norte ay 54 habang sa Alabato ay 37 millimeter. At ipapaalala po natin na itong sa Vera, Catanduanes at sa Huban, Sorsogon, i-verify pa po natin yan dahil more likely may dagdag pa po yan na rainfall for the past hours. Habang ito po sa natitirang bahagi pa ng Bicol Region at Southern Luzon, inaasahan pa rin madadagdagan pa ang rainfall sa mga susunod na oras dahil sa patuloy pa rin na pagbugso o kumbaga pagbayo ng bagyong Tisoy doon nga po sa Kabikulan at sa ilang bahagi pa ng Southern Luzon. Yung eyewall ni Tisoy is currently bringing violent winds and intense rainfall doon sa Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Albay at maging sa Masbate. At inaasahan natin makakaapekto po itong eyewall na ito kung saan yun yung pinakamalakas na bahagi ng bagyo makakaapekto sa Southern Quezon, Romblon, maging sa Marinduque in the next hours. Babalikan lamang ho natin yung satellite imagery natin or satellite animation. Mapapansin ho natin na sa kasalukuyan nga ang sentro nito ay nasa Burias Island at yung diameter niya, lawak ng diameter nakakaapekto sa Luzon at sa Visayas. At inaasahan natin dito po sa Metro Manila, posibleng makaranas na ho ng mga pag-ulan as early as 9 or 10 in the morning mamaya ho yan. At maging mga pagbugso ng hangin. Kaya mag-antabi pa rin tayo sa mga updates ng pag-asa, lalong-lalo na po sa mga rainfall advisories ho. Pero po dito sa Cavite, Batangas, as early as now, posible pong nakakaranas ng ating mga kababayan doon ng mga pag-ulan, maging ng mga pagbugso po ng hangin. At para po sa ating mga paalala, para sa ating ine-expect dahil nga po dito kay Bagyong Tisoy, between early morning and late afternoon today, so ngayong araw po yan, Tuesday, frequent to continuous heavy rains ang mararanasan sa Bicol Region, Romblon, Marinduque, Mindoro Provinces, Calabarzon, including Metro Manila, Bataan, Pampanga at maging sa Bulacan habang paminsan-minsan lamang na mga malalakas na pag-ulan sa natitirang bahagi pa ng Central Luzon. Sa Samar Provinces naman, intermittent o yung mga patigil-tigil na malalakas na ulan, kasama dyan ang Biliran, Aklan, Antique, Capiz, Iloilo, Guimaras at natitirang bahagi pa at sa northern portion ng Negros Provinces at Cebu. Bukas naman, late afternoon today and tomorrow early morning, so mamayang gabi ho yan hanggang bukas ng umaga, ang ina-expect po nating rainfall ay frequent to continuous heavy rains sa Mindoro Provinces ho yan at posible po kasama ang Metro Manila. So inote po natin, ang mga pag-ulan sa Metro Manila, mag-uumpisa pa lang ho yan, halos ngayong araw pa lang ho yan at magpapatuloy po yan hanggang bukas dahil sa position o location ni Tisoy in the next 24 hours. Sa Central Luzon din, gayon din ho, at sa Rizal at Northern Quezon including Polillo Islands. Occasional heavy rains naman sa Cagayan Valley, Cordillera Administrative Region, Marinduque, Romblon at natitirang bahagi pa ng Calabarzon, habang intermittent heavy rains over Bicol Region at Calamian Islands. At again, pinapaalalahan na po natin sa storm surge, possible storm surge, ang ating mga kababayan sa Batangas, sa coastal areas ho ng Batangas, Mindoro Provinces, Marinduque, Romblon, Ticao at Burias Island, at maging sa southern coast ng Quezon. Posible po doon ang 2 hanggang 3 metro na meters po ng storm surge. Samantalang 1 to 2 meters naman sa Camarines Norte, northern coast ng southern Quezon, Cavite, maging dito po sa Metro Manila in the next few hours, in the next 24 hours, Bulacan, Pampanga, Bataan at maging sa Zambales. Kaya mag-antabay pa rin ho tayo sa mga updates ng pag-asa, maging dito po sa mga possible storm surges. At yan muna ang latest mula dito sa pag-asa. Ang next bulletin po natin ay mamayang alas 8 ng umaga. Mag-antabay pa rin ho tayo sa updates.
It is Tuesday, December 3rd. It's a new day, everyone. I'm Rieta Anwatco Trillo.
Good morning, I'm Andre Felix, and we keep you company until 7:30.
That's right. Hello and welcome. I'm Christine Jacob Sandejas.
Well, our top story today, Typhoon Tisoy forcing thousands of Filipinos out of their homes. A number of towns and cities all over Luzon, including the city of Manila, have already ordered forced evacuation amid threats of heavy downpours and floods. Typhoon Tisoy made landfall in Gubat, Sorsogon late last night. Classes are already canceled in many areas. The Manila International Airport also announced that operations of all NAIA terminals are suspended between 11 a.m. today until 11 p.m.
Tisoy is also affecting the 30th Southeast Asian Games. Organizers have already rescheduled several events, many of them in Subic. Among them, the canoe, kayak events, and windsurfing. Underwater hockey will still push through today, but the final matches have been moved from evening to afternoon.
And of course, a lot of more medals up for grabs in the SEA Games today. And world champion Carlos Yulo will try to win 3 of them. Yulo is scheduled to compete in 3 gymnastics events. He already won gold earlier in the SEA Games in the individual all-around category. He was just flawless in his routines. So first day, we got 22 gold medals. Yesterday, we got 16, total of 38 gold medals so far. 71, we are still leading so far the total medal tally in the SEA Games.
Okay,
Great
we
news.
started
So far,
right,
so good.
started
Yeah.
strong, get all the medals, and hope we can last until December 11th.
And we start strong as well. Stick around until 7:30 for those stories and a whole lot more. You are watching New Day only here on CNN Philippines. Good morning.
Strong winds and heavy rains pounding several provinces in Luzon after Typhoon Tisoy made landfall in Gubat, Sorsogon late last night. Local government agencies in Luzon as well as the Visayas have implemented forced evacuation in most cities and provinces amid threats of heavy downpours and floods. These include Albay, Northern Cebu, and Eastern Visayas. In Manila, Mayor Isko Moreno ordered the preemptive evacuation of those living in the city's coastal areas. As of last night, disaster officials say more than 22,000 families or more than 89,000 individuals from regions 5 and 8, including Mimaropa and Calabarzon, have been evacuated. But the strong winds and rains caused by the typhoon have left thousands of passengers stranded in various seaports in Albay, Camarines Sur, Sorsogon, and Masbate. Classes in all levels have been suspended for today in most Metro Manila cities except in Makati, where classes are called off only from preschool to senior high school. Because of Typhoon Tisoy, the Manila International Airport announced that operations of all NAIA terminals are suspended between 11 a.m. today until 11 p.m. PAL Express and Cebu Pacific had earlier canceled its flights. Civil aviation authorities have advised all airlines and airport personnel to activate emergency disruption procedures to minimize the impact of the typhoon on their operations. For the complete list of class suspensions and canceled flights, do visit our social media platforms at CNN Philippines. Signal number 3 is hoisted over several provinces in Luzon, including Catanduanes, Camarines Sur, Albay, Sorsogon, and Camarines Norte. These areas are experiencing violent winds and intense rains. This storm signal is also up in northern Samar, as well as the northern portions of eastern Samar and Samar. Signal number 2 is raised over other Luzon areas such as Metro Manila, Bulacan, Bataan, and Tarlac, including several provinces in the Visayas as seen on your screens. Some provinces up north are placed under signal number 1. These include Southern Isabela, Mountain Province, and the rest of Negros Occidental and Negros Oriental in the Visayas. The province of Camarines Sur now enduring heavy rains and winds caused by Typhoon Tisoy. Trisha Terada reports from Naga City.
We just stepped out of our hotel to show to you the impact Typhoon Tisoy has made since it reached landmass earlier. It's been bringing in intensified rains and very strong winds. We're standing on a relatively safe ground, but the winds are too powerful that it can push us an inch or two from where we are standing. Now, from this point, going out, it could be very dangerous as we've been seeing branches falling off the trees. We've been hearing metal sheets and roofs flipping or could be flying from, as we've been hearing them from our roofs. You can hear that powerful, you can see that powerful, these powerful winds. They could be very dangerous for anyone who could be out on the streets at this time. Local authorities say they're on top of the situation, monitoring the impact of Typhoon Tisoy at the command post. We will be getting more information about that later in the day, but for now, what we do know is that there are more than 5,000 individuals at the evacuation centers. That's also equal to more than 1,000 families in temporary shelters. At this point, evacuation is already quite impossible with these very, very strong rains and winds. In Naga City, Trisha Terada, CNN Philippines.
Towns in Quezon Province bracing for an even heavier downpour from Typhoon Tisoy. But our Caroline Bonquin tells us some residents are still reluctant to leave their homes despite orders to evacuate.
Strong winds pushing these trees to their limits. Heavy rains every now and then. Typhoon Tisoy already making its presence felt over Atimonan, Quezon on Monday morning. Huge waves slam the coastline. Teachers Alex Vera Cruz and Ferdinand De Heran are stranded as boats aren't allowed to sail home to their island town, Alabad.
Pag po ang inis, may pamilya, dapat makauwi talaga. Nininervous na po ay pag malakas ng dagat.
Learning from Typhoon Glenda in 2014, which destroyed over 10,000 houses, many residents fear Tisoy will blow away their roofs. Lilibet asked her neighbor to tie her roof to a nearby concrete post. She's also packed her children's clothes. But Lilibeth is not going with them to the evacuation center.
Kung talagang kinakailangan, yung lang mga anak ko, pero talagang ako may iwan dito sa bahay namin. Hindi ko pwedeng iwan dito.
Over 30 villages in Atimonan are either flood or landslide prone, including the one near a national highway, which may leave people going to Bicol or Metro Manila stranded.
May pagkakataon po na kung malakas yung bagyo nung mga nakaraang panahon ay nagiging hindi madaanan na yung Maharlika Highway nung mag-overflow yung ilog na kung saan ay dadaanan ng mga tapapuntang Bicol.
But no matter how often they are flooded, village chiefs still had a hard time convincing other residents to evacuate.
Ay sila man may naalis na yung kalakasan na, kaya matitigas din ang ulo ng aming kabarangay. Sila naalis ay yung malakas na. Ayaw nilang iwan yung kanilang mga tahanan.
Caroline Bonquin, CNN Philippines.
The 30th Southeast Asian Games also bearing the brunt of Typhoon Tisoy. Several events have been rescheduled in preparation for the effects of the weather disturbance. The canoe-kayak events in Malawaan Park, Subic Bay have been postponed from December 6th to 8th, Windsurfing, also in Subic, will also be moved, but no definite date yet. Underwater hockey at the Vermosa Sports Hub in Cavite will still push through today, but the finals matches have been moved from evening to afternoon. Despite the typhoon, organizers say the SEA Games will not extend beyond December 11th.
The competition continues if necessary, but without spectators. Tuloy ang laro. There's teams, there is technical officials, but without the viewing public. So as long as the category of the typhoon is still manageable, but if it's really strong, then we have to cancel the matches. So postpone or delayed or cancel. No extension. There's always a solution by the technical delegate and to talk to all the participating teams on a possible realignment of the competition format.
But still on the same location, sir? Like, hindi naman po lilipat?
No. It's the same location. When the typhoon passed by, mga 4 hours, tapos na yan. And then we resume again, hopefully.
The Philippines is still in the lead in the SEA Games after another gold rush on the second day of the regional meet. The country added 16 golds to its total, including the first career SEA Games gold medal of Olympic weightlifter Heidelin Diaz. Pauline Verzosa tells us what this victory means for Diaz.
It was a sweet victory for Heidelin Diaz as she bagged her first gold medal here at the Southeast Asian Games. The Olympic silver medalist dominated the weightlifting competition where she lifted a total of 211 kilograms in the women's 55-kilo category. In the snatch session, she lifted 88, then 91 kilos on her first and second attempt. On her third, Diaz tried to lift 94 kilograms but failed to clear this. Nonetheless, she stayed way ahead of her opponents. In the clean and jerk session, Diaz started with 110, then followed it up with 115 before finally lifting 120 kilograms to secure the gold.
Iniisip ko lang na yung technique ko, then iniisip ko na ready ako, and God's powerful champion ako. So, by God, magagawa ko to. Kahit ang daming pressure, ang daming expectation, pero kayang-kaya kasi prepared ako. Nandito ako para manalo.
The 28-year-old Zamboanga native says her victory is extra special with her parents watching her in the audience for the very first time.
Masaya kami. Bilang nanay, masaya kami para sa kanya. Kasi malaki kalanganan. Binigay siya hindi para sa ating bansa.
Another huge motivation for Diaz was the presence of hundreds of Filipinos who came out to support her at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium. With this victory, Heidelin's bid to qualify for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics is now stronger. She still has 2 more competitions, including the World Cup and Asian Championships next year.
Medyo madugo ang Olympic qualifying, so include me in your prayers. At sana magawa kong mag-qualify then manalo sa Olympics. So malaking bagay sa akin na nandito ako, na nagawa ko ng maayos. Mentally, masasabi ko na medyo nandun na.
With 1 gold medal down in weightlifting, Diaz hopes the country can support her fellow weightlifters who are competing here at the Southeast Asian Games for pride and honor. Pauline Verzosa, CNN Philippines.
Now here's a look at the medal tally entering today's events in the Southeast Asian Games. Again, the Philippines maintaining its lead, pulling away with 38 golds, 20 silvers, and 13 bronzes for a total of 71 medals. Vietnam is in second place. They have 51 medals all in all, including 15 golds. Malaysia in third with 10 golds and 19 medal total. Indonesia and Thailand wrap up the top 5. They have 6 gold medals apiece.
You're watching New Day. I'm Christine Jacobs-Sandejas. We are still keeping tabs on Typhoon Tisoy, which has pounded several Luzon provinces with strong winds and heavy rains. Now, as of 4 this morning, Pag-asa says the eye of the Typhoon Tisoy was last located in Burias Island in Masbate. Pag-asa says Tisoy is causing violent winds and intense rainfall over Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, and Masbate. These provinces are placed under signal number 3. Frequent to continuous heavy rains are also expected later on today in the Mindoro provinces, Metro Manila, Central Luzon, Rizal, and Northern Quezon. Pag-asa advises people not to venture to the seas today because of rough sea conditions caused by the typhoon. According to the latest Pag-asa Weather Bulletin, forecasters expect Typhoon Tisoy to exit Philippine territory by Friday morning. Now, will it rain in your area in the next hour? Let's find out. Let's check on the conditions here and across Asia from the CNN World Weather Center.
Hello, CNN Philippines. Tom Sater here. Thoughts and prayers are with all of you in the safety as this massive storm moves through the area, making landfall around 10 p.m. Big in size, equivalent to a Category 4 hurricane. And again, I know the evacuations have taken place. The schools are closed, businesses as well, airport, in fact, and a good reason for that. This is massive in size, but the core still is quite strong. And when we have that heavy rain and the threat for landslides and the flash flooding, we're going to see it across all of the provinces, beginning in the Bicol region, the Visayas. Once it gets in the South China Sea, it really gets shredded by that northeastern monsoon. But really, again, signal 3 that we know has been in effect, and for good reason. The high seas, the storm surge, all in those east coast facing coastlines. Again, heavy amounts of rain, even up to the north and down to the south. So again, this is a good 5-day totals, and we'll look in the next couple of days for you as well. But notice how it moves across areas of the south of Manila. So southern sections really are going to get more of the wind damage, I think, as it makes its way south Manila. But you're in some of those strong winds and the heavier rainfall, and those bands will continue to make their way across that region. But there's a good reason why that signal 3 was in effect, with winds about 120 to 170 kilometers per hour. And even to the south, you get to Santa Cruz, we're going to have some pretty strong winds, and then the system will slowly die out. Ponding of water is going to be a big deal. If you've got travel plans, if you can get out somewhere and somehow, or waiting for someone to get back, it looks like Japan's got a little sea effect snow. Some of that rain from Tisoy makes its way up toward Taiwan, coastal areas of China. I think we'll get one more good day out of Hong Kong before the cloud cover moves in. As you see here, infrared satellite imagery really gives you a good idea of the scope and the size of this storm, just making its way north of Samar province. And again, Southeast Asia is looking at dry conditions. Again, this storm really, I don't think, will have the gusto to make its way there. Singapore about 29 degrees with a chance of thunderstorms. But here are your numbers now. And we're going to increase this just a little bit as far as the numbers of rainfall. Take it out 96 hours. And again, this is the flood threat. So again, thoughts and prayers are with all of you and the safety for you and your families as you deal with this massive storm moving across your country. I'll talk about weather again tomorrow. Back to you.
That was meteorologist Tom Sater from the CNN World Weather Center. It's exactly 6:30. Good morning and welcome back. I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo. Our top story: strong winds and heavy rains pounding several provinces in Luzon after Typhoon Tisoy made landfall in Gubat, Sorsogon late last night. Local government agencies in Luzon as well as the Visayas have implemented forced evacuation in most cities and provinces amid threats of heavy downpours and floods. These include the Albay, Northern Cebu, and Eastern Visayas. In Manila, Mayor Isko Moreno ordered the preemptive evacuation of those living in the city's coastal areas. As of last night, disaster officials say more than 22,000 families or more than 89,000 individuals from regions 5 and 8, including Mimaropa and Calabarzon, have been evacuated. But the strong winds and rains caused by the typhoons have left thousands of passengers stranded in various seaports in Albay, Camarines Sur, Sorsogon, and Masbate. Classes in all levels have been suspended for today in most Metro Manila cities, except in Makati, where classes are called off only from preschool to senior high school. Because of Typhoon Tisoy, the Manila International Airport announced that operations of all NAIA terminals are suspended between 11 a.m. today until 11 p.m. Cal Express and Cebu Pacific earlier canceled its flights. Civil aviation authorities have advised all airlines and airport personnel to activate emergency disruption procedures to minimize the impact of the typhoon in their operations. For the complete list of class suspensions and canceled flights, do visit our social media platforms at CNN Philippines. While Typhoon Tisoy made landfall last night, Pag-asa says this typhoon is still causing strong winds and heavy rains in some Luzon provinces. Here's a portion of Pag-asa's media briefing early this morning.
Narito na ang update sa Bagyong Tisoy. Kasalukuyan ho, ang sentro nito ay nasa vicinity na po ng San Pascual, Masbate, nasa Burias Island ho yan. Ibig sabihin yung sentro po nito ay nasa isla po sa ngayon. Pero yung sa lawak ng diametro ho niya, halos buong Bicol region po, Southern Luzon, sa northern portion ng Eastern Visayas pa rin, at sa ilang bahagi pa ng Southern Luzon, directly affected pa rin ang bagyo at napakalakas pa rin ho ng mga hangin at pag-ulan na nararanasan doon dahil nga po sa Bagyong Tisoy. Ngayon po ang taglay niyang hangin ay umaabot sa 155 kilometers per hour near the center at gustiness po niya ay umaabot sa 235 kilometers per hour. Kumpara po kanina alas 2 ay bahagya po itong humina pero hindi po pwedeng maging kampante ang ating mga kababayan dahil malakas pa rin at mapaminsala pa rin ho itong Bagyong Tisoy. Konti lang yung ibinawas ng strength niya, but still it's a powerful typhoon. At sa kasalukuyan base na nga po sa track na ipinalabas ng Pag-asa, ito pong sentro nga as of 2 a.m. ay papalabas pa lang ng landmass ng Albay. Yung sentro lang ho yan, and then after 24 hours sa ating pong pagtaya, inaasahan na natin na ang layo nito ay nasa 165 kilometers timog kanluran ng Subic, Zambales. So, posible po na bukas ang sentro nito ay nasa labas ng landmass natin. Pero, yung diametro niya, ipapaalala po natin, malawak ito, almost 800 kilometer diameter. So, yung radius po niya na 400 kilometer, makakaapekto pa rin sa Metro Manila, sa Cavite, Batangas, sa natitirang bahagi pa ho ng Calabarzon at maging sa Mimaropa region. After 48 hours, inaasahan natin ang sentro nitong bagyo ay nasa layo na po ng 515 kilometers kanluran ng Subic, Zambales. May kalayuan na po ito pero aasahan pa rin natin medyo may epekto pa rin ho ito. Kaya by Thursday morning, posible pa rin hong may mga pag-ulan pa rin sa kanlurang bahagi ng Southern Luzon at maging ng Central Luzon. Habang by Friday morning, in the next 72 hours, inaasahan natin nasa labas na ng PAR ang sentro ni Bagyong Tisoy. Uulitin lamang po natin yung progression para po meron po tayo, hindi po natin makalimutan yung track niya at may idea po tayo. Sa ngayon po ay nasa Burias Island na ito at in the next 24 hours tatahakin nito yung mga isla dito sa Mimaropa region, particular ho dito sa Marinduque, sa Romblon, sa Occidental at Oriental Mindoro, and then before finally exiting the landmass. Pero po in the next 48 hours, inaasahan na po natin na nasa layo na po ito ng 515 kilometers kanluran ng Subic, Zambales. At 72 hours so by Friday morning, nasa labas na po ito ng ating area of responsibility. Ating ine-expect dahil nga po dito kay Bagyong Tisoy, between early morning and late afternoon today, so ngayong araw po yan, Tuesday, frequent to continuous heavy rains ang mararanasan sa Bicol Region, Romblon, Marinduque, Mindoro Provinces, Calabarzon, including Metro Manila, Bataan, Pampanga at maging sa Bulacan, habang paminsan-minsan lamang na mga malalakas na pag-ulan sa natitirang bahagi pa ng Central Luzon. Sa summer provinces naman, intermittent o yung mga patigil-tigil na malalakas na ulan, kasama dyan ang Biliran, Aklan, Antique, Capiz, Iloilo, Guimaras at natitirang bahagi pa at sa northern portion ng Negros provinces at Cebu. Bukas naman, late afternoon today and tomorrow early morning, so mamayang gabi ho yan hanggang bukas ng umaga, ang ina-expect po nating rainfall ay frequent to continuous heavy rains sa Mindoro provinces ho yan at posible po kasama ang Metro Manila. So inote po natin, ang mga pag-ulan sa Metro Manila, mag-uumpisa pa lang ho yan, halos ngayong araw pa lang ho yan at magpapatuloy po yan hanggang bukas dahil sa position o location ni Tisoy in the next 24 hours. Sa Central Luzon din, gayon din ho, at sa Rizal at Northern Quezon, including Polillo Islands. Occasional heavy rains naman sa Cagayan Valley, Cordillera Administrative Region, Marinduque, Romblon at natitirang bahagi pa ng Calabarzon, habang intermittent heavy rains over Bicol Region at Calamian Islands. At again, pinapaalalahan na po natin sa storm surge, possible storm surge, ang ating mga kababayan sa Batangas, sa coastal areas ho ng Batangas, Mindoro provinces, Marinduque, Romblon, Ticao at Burias Island at maging sa southern coast ng Quezon. Posible po doon ang 2 hanggang 3 metro na meters po ng storm surge. Samantalang 1 to 2 meters naman sa Camarines Norte, northern coast ng southern Quezon, Cavite, maging dito po sa Metro Manila in the next few hours, in the next 24 hours, Bulacan, Pampanga, Bataan at maging sa Zambales. Kaya mag-antabay pa rin ho tayo sa mga updates ng pag-asa, maging dito po sa mga possible storm surges.
Moving on, world champion Carlos Yulo looking to strike gold again as he competes in 3 more gymnastics events in the Southeast Asian Games. Yulo will show off his skills in the floor exercise, still rings, and pommel horse events. Yulo already won gold in the individual all-around category. He topped the event with a score of 84.9 in the 6 routines. His performance has since gone viral. Here's a look.
Arnis proving to be a gold mine for the Philippines in the Southeast Asian Games. The country's Arnis team won 7 more gold medals in the second day of the regional meet yesterday. George Cahiles has the details.
Filipino arnisadores show what a smoking stick means as they rake in 7 of 8 gold medals in the full contact padded stick events. The men's team got 3 golds, Jesper Hukire in the bantamweight, Elmer Manlapas in the featherweight, Carloy Tejada in the welterweight. And they also got a silver courtesy of Billy Joel Valenzuela in the lightweight division. While the women's team got 4 gold medals, Sheena Del Monde in the bantamweight, Jeddah May Soriano in the featherweight, Ross Ashley Monville in the lightweight, and Abigail Abad in the welterweight division. So far, the Philippines has got a total of 12 gold medals, 2 silvers, and 2 bronzes in Arnis. Now, earlier, Filipino supporters here at the Angeles University Foundation were on their feet, thrilled as they watch the gold medal matches. Our athletes showcase their skills and tactics during their respective games, and our gold medalists say that they are thankful to all supporters who went here to cheer them on. They say their long, tiring training paid off, dramatized especially when our national anthem is being sang here. On Tuesday, 4 more gold medals are up for grabs in the traditional open weapon category. From Angeles City, Pampanga, George Cahiles, CNN Philippines.
Gilas Pilipinas extending its dominance in the Southeast Asian Games to 3x3 basketball. The country won the inaugural gold medals in both the men's and women's divisions. Sam Corrales has more.
A new sport just made its debut in the 30th Southeast Asian Games, and the Philippines bagged its first 2 medals in the 3x3 basketball tournament. The Gilas Pilipinas men's 3x3 team wrapped up their campaign with a 7-0 sweep. PBA players Mo Tautua, CJ Perez, Jason Perkins, and Chris Newsom dominated over Indonesia in the gold medal match, 21-9. Filipino fans at the venue were showing their support in full force, especially since the women's team did not go down without a fight. 3-time UAAP MVP Afril Bernardino, Jack Animam, Janine Pontejos, and Claire Castro showed a lot of resiliency, scoring a comeback victory against Thailand in the finals, 17-13. They also made history, securing the country's second gold medal in 3x3 basketball. The Gilas women's team is also looking to strike gold in their next assignment, the 5-on-5 tournament. Head coach Pat Aquino says they will take care of business right away.
We're just happy na naipakita namin yung kakaya namin to play basketball, and after this we'll be having practice again tonight and tomorrow until Wednesday, the game against Indonesia at 6 o'clock.
The 5-on-5 tournament in the SEA Games will run from December 4 to 10 at the Mall of Asia Arena. Sam Corrales, CNN Philippines.
Meantime, the national women's volleyball team will finally be put to the test in the SEA Games. The women's volleyball tournament opens today at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City, and the Philippines will play its first game against Vietnam at 6 p.m. The Philippines hopes to win its first medal in women's volleyball since 2005, which was the last time the country hosted the SEA Games. Defending champions Thailand will face Indonesia in the tournament opener at 3 in the afternoon.
Volleyball phenom Eliza Valdez hopes to finally win a medal in her 3rd try at the Southeast Asian Games. In this episode of Heart of a Champion, Valdez talks about her obsession with the game.
I never dreamt of being part of a team na would go to the finals, would be known in the country also, or in the volleyball community. I'm really obsessed with volleyball. Not just passionate about it, but really obsessed with the sport. I keep on waking up early, doing whatever my coaches would want me to do. I guess one thing that really motivated me until now is that I keep on learning from my teammates, from my coaches. Lagi sinasabi ni Coach Tai, if you can score, players will follow you. So you have to work hard talaga. So other players will see you perform, and that's when you lead the team. Before I got sprained, I felt that I was on my peak again. Whenever I spiked the ball that morning, I felt like, oh, this is what I felt when I was in college. That's why I was kind of devastated also and frustrated. It's just a month, but for me, a month is too long. My teammates would really get their peak also. So I want to challenge also myself. I really started from zero. I didn't expect anything. Never thought na aabot dito ang career ko din sa volleyball. So why focus on the negativity? I am just really thankful that I'm surrounded by these positive people that really encourage me to be patient talaga. People would come up to me and would make kwento na parang, oh, we watched your game, we were so happy, everyone in the family. Ganun pala yung effect niya sa mga tao, and we don't know that we're just playing what we love. One of my goals talaga is for the Philippine volleyball to unify, to find its way, to help players, to help the national team, to help the volleyball community be at its peak din. Kasi we all know na sobrang capable talaga ang volleyball natin ngayon. As a player naman, I want to give Philippines a medal, an international medal, may it be SEA Games, may it be any other competition. Being in the national team, I mean, makikipagpatayan ka talaga dyan para lang makuha mo din yung spot. There's pressure, but I believe that pressure will make us smile talaga and be confident. It's an obligation, but I don't see it as an obligation because playing for our country is an honor. Napakasarap po ng pakiramdam. Kaya yun naman yung gusto nating iparamdam sa lahat ng mga taong nanonood din ng volleyball. Yung pakiramdam din. Kung masaya kayo nag-cheer, masaya din po kami. Ipakita kung ano yung capability nating mga Pilipino.
You're back with us on CNN Philippines. I'm Ria Tanwad Cotrillo.
Good morning again. I'm Andre Felix. It is exactly 7 a.m.
That's right. And this is New Day, where the news comes first. I'm Christine Jacobson.
Well, our top story today, obviously, Typhoon Tisoy forcing thousands of Filipinos out of their homes. A number of towns and cities all over Luzon, including the city of Manila, have already ordered forced evacuation amid threats of heavy downpours and floods. Typhoon Tisoy made landfall in Gubat, Sorsogon late last night. Classes are already canceled in many areas. The Manila International Airport also announced that operations of all NAIA terminals are suspended between 11 a.m. today until 11 p.m.
Tisoy is also affecting the 30th Southeast Asian Games. Organizers have already rescheduled several events, many of them in Subic. Among them, the canoe-kayak events and windsurfing. Underwater hockey will still push through today, but the final matches have... Yes, that's right, has been moved from evening to afternoon.
And of course, a lot more medals are up for grabs in the Southeast Asian Games today. And world champion Carlos Yulo will try to win 3 of them. Yulo is scheduled to compete in 3 gymnastics events. He already won gold earlier in the SEA Games in the individual all-around category. Do stick around till 7:30 for those stories and a whole lot more. You are still watching New Day, only here on CNN Philippines. Good morning.
Strong winds and heavy rains pounding several provinces in Luzon after Typhoon Tisoy made landfall in Gubat, Sorsogon late last night. Local government agencies in Luzon as well as the Visayas have implemented forced evacuation in most cities and provinces amid threats of heavy downpours and floods. These include Albay, Northern Cebu, and Eastern Visayas. In Manila, Mayor Isko Moreno ordered the preemptive evacuation of those living in the city's coastal areas. As of last night, disaster officials say more than 22,000 families or more than 89,000 individuals from regions 5 and 8, including Mimaropa and Calabarzon, have been evacuated. The strong winds and rains caused by the typhoon have left thousands of passengers stranded in various seaports in Albay, Camarines Sur, Sorsogon, and Masbate. Classes in all levels have been suspended for today in most Metro Manila cities. In Makati, classes are called off only from preschool to senior high school. Because of Typhoon Tisoy, the Manila International Airport announced that operations of all NAIA terminals are suspended between 11 a.m. today until 11 p.m. PAL Express and Cebu Pacific earlier canceled their flights. Civil aviation authorities have advised all airlines and airport personnel to activate emergency disruption procedures. They say this will minimize the impact of the typhoon in their operations. For the complete list of class suspensions and canceled flights, you can visit our social media platforms at CNN Philippines. Signal number 3 is hoisted over several provinces in Luzon, including Catanduanes, Camarines Sur, Albay, Sorsogon, and Camarines Norte. These areas are experiencing violent winds and intense rains. This storm signal is also up in northern Samar, as well as the northern portions of eastern Samar and Samar. Signal number 2 is raised over other Luzon areas, such as Metro Manila, Bulacan, Bataan, and Tarlac, including several provinces in the Visayas, as seen on your screen. Some provinces up north are placed under signal number 1, and these include Southern Isabela Mountain Province and the rest of Negros Occidental and Negros Oriental in the Visayas. Aside from the strong winds and heavy rains from Typhoon Tisoy, Quezon Province also has to deal with communication and electricity problems. Carolyn Bonquin has the latest from Atimonan in Quezon.
The weather situation here in Atimonan, Quezon has gotten worse. We've been getting these thick, blinding rains since midnight. The wind is just pushing everything into that direction. It's so strong, it feels like it can blow away the roof of our hotel anytime. We have no idea what's happening out there. Communication lines are down. We have no electricity since 3 a.m. And going outside at this time is not advisable, as we have been seeing a lot of falling debris on the road. And it seems like we will only know the extent of damage Typhoon Tisoy caused here in Timonan, Quezon once the weather situation improves. Reporting from Quezon Province, I'm Caroline Bongkin, CNN Philippines.
Pag-asa expects Typhoon Tisoy to exit Philippine territory by Friday. Here's a portion of Pag-asa's media briefing early this morning.
Narito na ang update sa Bagyong Tisoy. Kasalukuyan ho, ang sentro nito ay nasa vicinity na po ng San Pascual, Masbate, nasa Burias Island ho yan. Ibig sabihin yung sentro po nito ay nasa isla po sa ngayon. Pero yung sa lawak ng diametro ho niya, halos buong Bicol region po, Southern Luzon, sa northern portion ng Eastern Visayas pa rin, at sa ilang bahagi pa ng Southern Luzon, directly affected pa rin ang bagyo at napakalakas pa rin ho ng mga hangin at pag-ulan na nararanasan doon dahil nga po sa Bagyong Tisoy. Ngayon po ang taglay niyang hangin ay umaabot sa 155 kilometers per hour near the center at gastinas po niya ay umaabot sa 235 kilometers per hour. Kumpara po kanina alas 2 ay bahagya po itong humina, pero hindi po pwedeng maging kampante ang ating mga kababayan dahil malakas pa rin at mapaminsala pa rin ho itong Bagyong Tisoy. Konti lang yung ibinawas ng strength niya, but still it's a powerful typhoon. At sa kasalukuyan, base na nga po sa track na ipinalabas ng Pag-asa, ito pong sentro nga as of 2 a.m. ay papalabas pa lang ng landmass ng Albay. Yung sentro lang ho yan, and then after 24 hours sa ating pong pagtaya, inaasahan na natin na ang layo nito ay nasa 165 kilometers timog kanluran ng Subic, Zambales. So, posible po na bukas ang sentro nito ay nasa labas ng landmass natin. Pero, yung diametro niya, ipapaalala po natin, malawak ito, almost 800 kilometer diameter. So, yung radius po niya na 400 kilometer, makakaapekto pa rin sa Metro Manila, sa Cavite, Batangas, sa natitirang bahagi pa ho ng Calabarzon at maging sa Mimaropa region. After 48 hours, inaasahan natin ang sentro nitong bagyo ay nasa layo na po ng 515 kilometers kanluran ng Subic, Zambales. May kalayuan na po ito, pero aasahan pa rin natin medyo may epekto pa rin ho ito. Kaya by Thursday morning, posible pa rin may mga pag-ulan pa rin sa kanlurang bahagi ng Southern Luzon at maging ng Central Luzon. Habang by Friday morning, in the next 72 hours, inaasahan natin nasa labas na ng PAR ang sentro ni Bagyong Tisoy. Uulitin lamang po natin yung progression para po meron po tayo, hindi po natin makalimutan yung track niya at may idea po tayo. Sa ngayon po ay nasa Burias Island na ito at in the next 24 hours tatahakin nito yung mga isla dito sa Mimaropa region, particular ho dito sa Marinduque, sa Romblon, sa Occidental at Oriental Mindoro, and then before finally exiting the landmass. Pero po in the next 48 hours, inaasahan na po natin na nasa layo na po ito ng 515 kilometers kanluran ng Subic, Zambales. At 72 hours so by Friday morning, nasa labas na po ito ng ating area of responsibility. Ating ine-expect dahil nga po dito kay Bagyong Tisoy, between early morning and late afternoon today, so ngayong araw po yan, Tuesday, frequent to continuous heavy rains ang mararanasan sa Bicol Region, Romblon, Marinduque, Mindoro Provinces, Calabarzon, including Metro Manila, Bataan, Pampanga at maging sa Bulacan, habang paminsan-minsan lamang na mga malalakas na pag-ulan sa natitirang bahagi pa ng Central Luzon. Sa Samar Provinces naman, intermittent o yung mga patigil-tigil na malalakas na ulan, kasama dyan ang Biliran, Aklan, Antique, Capiz, Iloilo, Guimaras at natitirang bahagi pa at sa northern portion ng Negros Provinces at Cebu. Bukas naman, late afternoon today and tomorrow early morning. So mamayang gabi ho yan hanggang bukas ng umaga. Ang ina-expect po nating rainfall ay frequent to continuous heavy rains sa Mindoro provinces ho yan at posible po kasama ang Metro Manila. So inote po natin, ang mga pag-ulan sa Metro Manila, mag-uumpisa pa lang ho yan, halos ngayong araw pa lang ho yan at magpapatuloy po yan hanggang bukas dahil sa position o location ni Tisoy in the next 24 hours. Sa Central Luzon din, gayon din ho, at sa Rizal at Northern Quezon including Polillo Islands. Occasional heavy rains naman sa Cagayan Valley, Cordillera Administrative Region, Marinduque, Romblon at natitirang bahagi pa ng Calabarzon, habang intermittent heavy rains over Bicol Region at Calamian Islands. At again, pinapaalalahan na po natin sa storm surge, possible storm surge, ang ating mga kababayan sa Batangas, sa coastal areas ho ng Batangas, Mindoro Provinces, Marinduque, Romblon, Ticao at Burias Island at maging sa southern coast ng Quezon. Posible po doon ang 2 hanggang 3 metro na meters po ng storm surge. Samantalang 1 to 2 meters naman sa Camarines Norte, northern coast ng southern Quezon, Cavite, maging dito po sa Metro Manila in the next few hours, in the next 24 hours, Bulacan, Pampanga, Bataan at maging sa Zambales. Kaya mag-antabay pa rin ho tayo sa mga updates ng pag-asa, maging dito po sa mga possible storm surges.
The 30th Southeast Asian Games also bearing the brunt of Typhoon Tisoy. Several events have been rescheduled in preparation for the effects of the weather disturbance. The canoe-kayak events in Malawaan Park, Subic Bay have been postponed from December 6th to 8th. Windsurfing also in Subic will also be moved, but no definite date yet. Underwater hockey at the Vermosa Sports Hub in Cavite will still push through today, but the finals matches have been moved from evening to afternoon. Despite the typhoon, organizers say the SEA Games will not extend beyond December 11th.
The competition continues if necessary, but without spectators. Tuloy ang laro. There's teams, there is technical officials, but without the viewing public. So as long as the category of the typhoon is still manageable, but if it's really strong, then we have to cancel the matches. So postpone or delayed or no extension. There's always a solution by the technical delegate and to talk to all the participating teams on a possible realignment of the competition format.
But still on the same location, sir? Like, hindi naman po lilipat?
No. It's the same location. When the typhoon passed by, mga 4 hours, tapos na yan. And then we resume again, hopefully.
And going back to our top story, strong winds and heavy rains pounding several provinces in Luzon after Typhoon Tisoy made landfall in Gubat, Sorsogon late last night. And join us now on the line is Mr. Jojo Garcia, the head of the MMDA. He is the general manager. Good morning, sir. Thanks for taking our call.
Good morning, Ms. Rian. Good morning to all your viewers and listeners.
Sir, what are the preparations that the MMDA is undertaking in preparation for Typhoon Tisoy?
Actually, yesterday we had a press con, and then all national agencies are there, the LG, PPWH, Pag-asa, Coast Guard, and MMDRMC. No? So, on the part of the MMDA, we prepared all our 4 quadrants, east, west, north, south quadrants, and we coordinated with DPWH in bringing down all the billboards. So right now, we just talked to the LGU. They just have some preparations, and everything's always ready in case they need some help from the national government.
Yes, I noticed that, sir, since yesterday yung mga billboards sa may EDSA, they've been taken down or rolled up. Let's talk about potential flooding, sir. Ano yung mga areas na na-identify nyo po that could possibly experience flooding with this typhoon?
Actually, naglabas naman ng bulletin no, kung anong mga barangay siya, no, flood prone, no? Most especially dito sa mga coastlines natin. That's why sabi nga namin, no, when they asked preparation regarding flooding, I told them na every day naman, no, kahit walang tag-ulan yan, we always clean all our drainages, no, yung ating mga pumping stations, naka-ready yan. But sabi ko, the challenges are yung mga garbage. Every day, no, pag nililinis natin yung mga drainage and pumping stations, talagang tons of garbage na nakukuha natin. But still, all 61 pumping stations in Metro Manila are working, no? So lahat yan, nakaabang lang yan at waiting natin, no, kung talagang lalakas pa ang ulan natin.
Right. Si Mayor Isko Moreno carried out preemptive evacuations in his city. Do you feel that there are other cities within the metro that might have to do the same?
Actually, sa press con yesterday, sinabi ko yung pag-asa kasi ang expert dyan pagdating sa typhoon, yung rainfall, etc. No? So, sila nag-inform sa amin, sa local governments, nagbigay ng mga data, and then it's the call of the LGUs kung mag-aaral sila ng early evacuation or kung talagang tatanggalin lahat. Ano? Ang talagang mga crucial part naman talaga yung sa coastline. Like for example, sa Marikina, yung malapit sa Marikina River, dito sa Manila, yung nasa Rojas Boulevard, yung papunta sa Recife, yung mga tao dyan. Ano? So, yan naman, nakaprepare ating mga LGUs and alam naman natin kung ano yung flood-prone areas, ito yung mga low-lying, no, na lugar in Metro Manila. I think all our local government units, so lahat ng mayors natin in Metro Manila is, nakaprepare na sila.
All right. Mr. Garcia, are there any roads that we should steer clear from when this typhoon hits?
Again, please.
Are there any particular roads or areas that we should steer clear from when the typhoon hits Metro Manila?
Wala naman. Ano? Sabi ko nga, ang MMDA, no, since summer yan, kumbaga 365 days a year, lilinis natin all yung mga drainages natin. Ano? Kaya lang, the problem nga, sabi ko, if ever nagkaroon ng flood, no, sa mga roads natin, usually dapat yan, no, because of the pumping stations, mga pumps natin, in 30 minutes to 1 hour, dapat passable na yan. Ang nangyayari, minsan tumatagal ng 4 hours to 6 hours kasi nga, because of the garbage, we need to stop the operations of the pumps para i-clear muna yung mga basura, no, sa mga pumping stations natin. So yan lang ating mga biggest challenges. But overall, no, naka-ready po tayo yung ating po mga quadrants na ginagamit during, if ever, yung may mga emergency, like yung mga pinapractice natin na shake drill, ganyan, ano? Naka-prepare lahat yan. Kompleto na po ang tao natin. Since last night, no? Talagang inano na namin, dideploy natin yan.
All right, that is good news. Thank you so much for your time this morning, MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia.
And that's
it? That's it? I wanted more. That's
gusto mo pa.
Thanks so much for watching. I'm Christine Jacob Sandejas.
New Day is back tomorrow at 6 a.m. We'll see you then. I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Maria Tanwat Cotrillo. Join me at the top of the hour for another look at this morning's biggest stories, including updates on Typhoon Tisoy. Enjoy your morning. Have a great day.
Today on the program, Typhoon Tisoy unleashes its wrath, leaving a trail of devastation, especially in the Bicol region.
Sila may naalis na yung kalakasan na, kaya matitigas din ang ulo ng aming kabarangay. Ayaw nilang iwan yung kanilang mga tahanan.
How will a Department of Disaster Resilience come into play? Iba si NDRRM.
Kasama na, absorb na si NDRIMC, absorb na si OCD, absorb na si PBOX, absorb na si Pag-asa.
Albay Representative Joey Salceda joins us live. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. Typhoon Tisoy slightly weakens after making landfall over Gubat, Sorsogon Monday night, but Pag-asa says that it will continue to bring heavy rains and strong winds in the Bicol region and other parts of Luzon. Typhoon Tisoy forces thousands of families to flee from their homes. Local government agencies in Luzon, as well as the Visayas, have implemented forced evacuation in most cities and provinces amid threats of a heavy downpour and floods. These include Albay, Northern Cebu, and Eastern Visayas. In Manila, Mayor Isko Moreno ordered the preemptive evacuation of those living in the city's coastal areas as of last night. Disaster officials say more than 22,000 families or more than 89,000 individuals from regions 5 and 8, including Mimaropa and Calabarzon, have been evacuated. The strong winds and rains caused by the typhoon have left thousands of passengers stranded in various seaports in Albay, Camarines Sur, Sorsogon, and Masbate. The Manila International Airport announced that operations of all NAIA terminals are suspended between 11 a.m. today until 11 p.m. tonight. PAL Express and Cebu Pacific have earlier canceled its flights. Civil aviation authorities have advised all airlines and airport personnel to activate emergency disruption procedures. They said this will minimize the impact of the typhoon in their operations. For the complete list of class suspensions and canceled flights, you can go to our social media platforms at CNN Philippines. Typhoon Tisoy hitting the province of Camarines Sur, bringing heavy rains and strong winds. Our Trisha Terada tells us more from Naga City.
We just stepped out of our hotel to show to you the impact Typhoon Tisoy has made since it reached landmass earlier. It's been bringing in intensified rains and very strong winds. We're standing on a relatively safe ground, but the winds are too powerful that it can push us an inch or two from where we are standing. Now, from this point, going out, it could be very dangerous as we've been seeing branches falling off the trees. We've been hearing metal sheets and roofs flipping or could be flying from, as we've been hearing them from our roofs. You can hear that powerful, you can see that these powerful winds. They could be very dangerous for anyone who could be out on the streets at this time. Local authorities say they're on top of the situation, monitoring the impact of Typhoon Tisoy at the command post. We will be getting more information about that later in the day, but for now, what we do know is that there are more than 5,000 individuals at the evacuation centers. That's also equal to more than 1,000 families in temporary shelters. At this point, evacuation is already quite impossible with these very, very strong rains and winds. In Naga City, Trisha Terada, CNN Philippines.
Quezon Province also deals with communication and electricity problems. Carolyn Bonquin has the latest from Atimonan in Quezon.
The weather situation here in Atimonan, Quezon has gotten worse. We've been getting these thick, blinding rains since midnight. The wind is just pushing everything into that direction. It's so strong, it feels like it can blow away the roof of our hotel anytime
We have no idea what's happening out there. Communication lines are down. We have no electricity since 3 a.m. And going outside at this time is not advisable, as we have been seeing a lot of falling debris on the road. And it seems like we will only know the extent of damage Typhoon Tisoy caused here in Timon and Quezon once the weather situation improves. Reporting from Quezon Province, I'm Caroline Bongkin, CNN Philippines.
We want to find out the situation in Region 5. We will be speaking to the OCD director there, Claudio Yucot, in a while to get the latest from Region 5. And do we have him on the line? All right, we'll get him a little later on. As soon as we get our communication with him, we'll be speaking to him and find out the latest in Region 5. We'll be taking a short break. We'll get an update on the situation in Albay. Representative Joey Salceda will be with us. After the break, this is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Albay Public Safety Office confirmed that Legazpi Airport in Albay has sustained heavy damage due to Typhoon Tisoy. Albay Public Safety and Emergency Management Office Chief Cedric Daep tells CNN Philippines thousands of passengers are stranded at the airport and all flights are canceled. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines will be the ones to determine when the flights will resume. We now have here in the studio Albay 2nd District Representative Joey Salceda. Congressman, good to see you, sir. Maraming salamat for being here. Sir, kamusta ang Albay ngayon?
I think we are recovering fast. With respect to that airport, I've talked to Kaap and to Secretary Tugade. We will resume flights tomorrow morning.
Okay.
In fact, yung Metro Manila, kung mag-resume sila, resume na kami.
Yeah, pero it said it sustained some damages, the airport itself.
Ibo-board up lang, magpapadala ng personnel kasi baka yung mga personnel doon ay apektado din. So we'll do manual inspection ng mga baggage kasi ang pinaka-importante lang is security of departure.
Right.
So sabi ko kay si Jonko, kay Sir, kay General si Jonko, ako, sir, that airport is the first phase of Albay. Yeah. And we cannot have that as the symbol of disaster.
Not being utilized.
It should be an icon of our resiliency.
Yeah.
Kaya dapat bukas. Kaninang umaga, mga alas 5, umiikot na po yung teams ng DPWH, ng 2nd District Engineering Office. Kiniklear na po namin yung roads right after po. Kasi pumasok po yung 10 o'clock, yung first wall, yung eye wall, yun ang malakas. And then after 2 hours, pumasok ulit ng mga 2 o'clock. 10 to 12, very heavy talaga. And then,
10 p.m., sir.
At 10 p.m.
To 12 midnight.
And then, bumalik siya ng 2 p.m. So, 2 a.m. So, biyernes pa kasi ako hindi natutulog masyado.
Okay,
kasi nga po, I've been using the social media to essentially summon the better character of our Albayanos.
So, Congressman, it hit Albay, you're saying, sometime at 10 p.m. last
Pero marami ng
night.
initial, very stormy na kami since 7 p.m. actually.
Pero parang lumakas ng 10 p.m.
Eye wall, yung kasi di ba malaki siya 800, yung eye wall, yung tabi po ng mata.
Yung surrounding pa lang yun, ha? Kasi, sir, remember, pag tinitingnan natin yun, minsan ang fino-focus natin
Malaki ng mata kasi. So, yung mata niya 55 km. So, basically po, it was running at 20 kph, so 2 hours in between.
Right.
Yung first ream, yung second ream.
So 10 to 12, 10 p.m. to 12 midnight, and then again at
2 p.m.,
at
2 to 4.
To 2 a.m. Sir, how are the roads? What can you tell us?
We are now clear. So by 12 p.m., 12 lunch. Oh, my time is really
Don't worry, sir.
This combo yan. Clear. Simula na po kami ng clearing. Kanina pang alas 5 na umaga. Right after umalis po yung eye wall. And then, so by lunch, yung major national roads po sa Albay, sa 2nd District, cleared. And then yung mga secondary roads, we're doing secondary roads within the day. Ang problema na sa...
What was the biggest problem?
Come again?
What was the biggest problem?
Well, yung manifestation, fallen flying roofs, fallen trees, isolated floods, and then basically, siyempre, may preemptive na brownouts, saka fallen electric posts. Pero kahapon, sinasabi ko na po sa lahat ng mga barangay at saka mga local government units na putulin na yung mga kahoy na pwede pong sumira ng mga electric posts.
Unahan na.
Unahan na po. Tsaka sa susunod, hindi na tayo maglagay ng mga kahoy sa tabi po ng kalsada. Huwag tayo magtatanim sa tabi po ng mga electric poles at ng mga bahay na pwedeng mag-iba. So far po, zero casualty kami. We evacuated 125,282. And
Individuals, sir?
Yes. So basically po, ang nangyari ay meron kami kahapon na electrocute, mga bandang hapon, pero hindi po, indirect casualty siya. Kumbaga, hindi po siya talaga direct result ng strong winds, flooding.
It's not because of Tisoy?
Well, sometimes kasi it's debatable. Kasi you prepare for it.
Correct, sir.
So when you prepare for it, you get into all these problems. So may mga, basically halos lahat po fallen trees ang mga injuries.
But the death, sir, death ho ba, yung electrocution?
Yes, sa tabako.
Was prior to
the
storm.
onslaught. Yes.
But the cause
Pero masasabi, preparations.
Yeah, preparations.
And when you prepare to evacuate, etc.
That forms part,
Debatable, indirect.
Yeah.
Indirect casualty.
So far, sir, one casualty.
So far, wala pa.
What about flooded areas? You mentioned that a while ago. Are they...
Usually, Balangibang, and then, actually, over time kasi, we have built into our infrastructure already. Kaya yung expected natin na mga intense to torrential rainfall, nag-intense kami sa Legazpi, torrential po sa Tabaco. Mukhang, na-absorb po ng mga structures. So yung floodings was not as what I expected na dapat hanggang bewang or something. Pero yung...
How far high did it go, sir, yung flooding?
I don't know, hanggang tuhod lang, max.
Tapos nag-subside din kaagad?
Kasi na-absorb siya kasi we built mga flood control and mitigation structure there. I think nagkaroon ng one of the biggest TRR really, disaster risk reduction, is really to build yung mga infrastructure. So, yung na-address po namin yan. It showed that it worked.
Yeah. At least, sir, because palagi hong tinatamaan ng...
Yeah, alam na dapat namin yun.
I remember, sir, in fact, you were saying that parang your constituents are already used to taking care of themselves during situations like this.
Opo, and then the whole, nasa muscle memory. And I think our institutions for resilience are working.
How can you tell us the situation in terms of how bad it was in Albay, sir?
175 kph, that's really, and then of course we had intense to torrential rainfall and talagang continuous. Pero yung mga tao na mga pwede pong not vulnerable, na-evacuate namin before lunch.
Could you, meron ho ba siyang, was there a similar incident in the past, sir?
Glenda.
Si Glenda pa rin, 2014?
Yes, 2014, zero casualty din po kami. But during that time, we had to mas sigurista po ako eh. So 325,000 ang in-evacuate po namin.
During Glenda?
During Glenda.
Right.
Yeah, but that was really strong. So, same, strong wind, strong, and then direct hit din po yung Albay.
What is the priority now, sir, in Albay?
I think providing assistance to dun po sa mga houses na nilipad, flying yero, tapos pangalawa, yung agriculture kasi nasa sowing stage pa lang kami sa rice. Tapos baka po sa coconuts again. So basically yan po magiging priority natin, I think housing assistance.
Yeah. But of course, I can imagine, sir, at this point, umiikot pa rin ho siguro yung...
Nasa assessment pa po yung both yung teams ng engineering district kasi it's yung DPWH engineer tapos yung local government pati po yung OCD. There are 3 separate teams that are going around.
Sir, what about those evacuated? Are they free to go home or have they gone
After
home?
lunch siguro kasi sabi ko nga kanina sa OCD, bago kayo umikot, punta muna kayo sa Pag-asa. Kasi yun dapat. Sure. Hindi man, yung institutional memory kasi we keep changing of course, the regional director, everything like that.
Yeah.
So, para po, sabi ko, as a matter of, that's the necessary first step. You ask Pag-asa, it's okay to go out and assess. And based on that assessment...
That's the time they should.
That's the time. So, okay na daw siya. So, paganda na po yung panahon by mga bandang 2:00 po.
We'll be taking a short break. Is there a need now for a Department of Disaster Resilience? This is The Source on CNN Philippines. We'll be talking about that when we come back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. We now speak to OCD Region 5 Director Claudio Yucot to get the latest. Director Yucot, you're speaking to us from Legazpi, sir?
Yes, good morning, Pinky. Good morning sa lahat ng inyong sa ating mga tagapanood.
Initial assessment nyo, sir?
Yes, kagabi magdamag kaming binayo ni Tisoy. Nag-landfall siya sa may vicinity ng Prito Diaz ng Sorsogon City. But kasama ang Legazpi City sa sa kanyang pagbukso. Ang lakas niya nung mag-landfall siya was about 165 kilometers per hour, sustained winds near the center at may pagbukso na about 275. Tumawid siya papunta ng from Prito Diaz, Sorsogon, tumawid siya ng Burias Island at papunta ng Quezon. So sa ngayon, wala pa kaming na-monitor na mga casualties except yung nandun sa Libmanan na kuryentehan. Kahapon, Marco Paulo Orsua, kanyang pangalan, ay 33 years old. Yun lamang aming na-monitor na casualties so far. Kasi yung ating areas na medyo na matindi ang tama, yung Sorsogon at saka Catanduanes, ay wala tayong signal ngayon doon. Down yung ating mga telcos. The only communication we have is the radio communications provided by the Philippine Army, 19th Infantry Division, Philippine Army. Yun lang yung ating connection sa Catanduanes
and Sorsogon.
At ngayon sa Sorsogon City, Sorsogon, probinsya ng Sorsogon. Yes.
And because of that, sir, aning nakuha ninyong report?
Yun nga ang problema natin kasi the radio operators will have to connect first with the PDRMO. Sa ngayon, ang sabi ang report sa amin ay medyo matindi. Ang tinanong namin kung gaano katindi yung tama sa Catanduanes, sabi on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 yung pinakamatindi, 1 yung pinakamahina. Ang sabi nila nasa 5 yung kanilang devastation doon.
5 ang devastation, sir?
Yes. Ngayon, nagpadala kami ng isang empleyado namin sa Sorsogon City. Yes, sa Sorsogon, kasi hindi maliwanag yung kanilang transmission sa amin. Kaya pinadala na namin yung isang empleyado namin doon to assess the situation.
When do you think you will have more information, Director? I understand that very limited ngayon, especially in Sorsogon
and Catanduanes. Yes, very limited kasi yung badly devastated areas ay wala tayong signal. So they cannot send us photos of what really happened. Ang atin lamang ay voice through the radio communication provided by the Army.
Alright. Sige, maraming salamat, Director Yucot. Patuloy po kaming makikipag-ugnayan sa inyo within the day. Thank you, sir. Alright, still here in the studio, Congressman Joey. Congressman, let's talk about this, the Disaster Resilience Department. This was approved sa House Committee pa lang po. Obviously, matagal na hutong pinag-uusapan. Naalala ko po during the campaign period.
5 years pa. 5 years na.
Yeah. So it passed the House Committee.
Actually, last year, we passed it sa third reading.
Pero syempre, ngayon, it just passed the House again.
No.
A House Committee, rather.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us more about it. What is the need for it?
Example yung sinabi kanina ni Director Yucot Kailangan duman sila sa Philippine Army kasi walang communications. Dapat may sarang autonomous na communication. Yung Albay po, meron kami sariling SMS, UHF, BHF capacity. Yung aming pong ABS-cbn. So dapat may sarili din po yung OCD. At saka ilan lang tao nila? 10 bawat region. So kailangan natin i-bolster yun. I don't know whether we will go down. So that's part of the plan na to build it up, its capacity, put it in a stature of a department so that mayroong isang tao lang na magbabaston ng lahat po. Simula po sa, kasi ayaw sumama ng Pag-asa PBOX MGB. So nagkaroon lang kami ng parang mga operating system na linegislate namin, operating mechanisms, katulad secondment, tapos pag panahon na ganito, automatic po sila under the direct control and supervision po ng DDR. Yung BFP, to provide boots in the ground, Buti nga ngayon dahil po nga talaga nakapag-evacuate kami, nagkaayos-ayos naman po yung aming public infra, yung mga kalsada, drainage, at saka yung mga bahay okay na. So konti na lang po. We cut our evacuation target from 325 to 125 only.
So, who's going to form part of the DDR, sir?
Basically, OCD
And who
po
will
ang
head
core.
it? Okay. So,
Who will head
OCD?
it? Kung ako tanongin mo, dapat si Solidum. Kasi knowing everybody in that domain, I would say he's the guy for it. He has a clear assessment. He's been through a lot of actual situation in the ground. But I don't know. You just asked me, that's why I answered.
Yeah.
But, so basically kasi, ilang ng phase niyan, 4. Risk assessment or risk reduction. And then you have preparedness. Ito pong nangyari right before. And then you have response and rescue, relief, and then you have recovery and rehabilitation. Ngayon po, yung rehab nakalagay sa NEDA. So, bawat putok po ng katulad ng Yolanda, we create a commission. Pag putok ni Remigio, we create a commission. Pati Marawi, we create a commission. So, wala na be-built na institutional memory on how to do rehabilitation work. Some lessons are lost. And then, pagdating naman po sa rescue and relief na nakadepende sa, ang chairman po ang DSWD. Ngayon, well, salamat po sa DSWD, sila lang po ang sumama. Yung lahat po ng mga repacking centers, yung relief operation, pati budget, binigay na po under the bill to DDR. So yung NRCO, etc., yung repacking warehouses will be turned over po to the new Department of Disaster Relief. Kasi kung minsan po yung mga LGUs mahilig mag-shopping. Hihingi dito, hihingi doon, hihingi doon. Ngayon, kailangan base po sa risk.
Yeah.
Base po sa impacts. Kasi yun naman ang gawain ng DDR. Alamin kung nasaan po ang mga vulnerabilities, kung saan po yung impacts ng isang disaster. Automatic, mabibigay nila kung anong kaya ng national government. Tapos yung LGU, dapat yung sarili nila po.
But what's the difference, sir? I'm imagining the goods are pre-positioned also
right
by
now.
days before. Yeah.
But now, it is the management of the distribution. Because now, as I said, yung mga local government unit, isa lang kausap ng local government unit sa national government. Isa lang. DDR lang, hindi yung DSWD, hindi OCD.
Ang dami mo pa tinatawagan.
Yes.
Okay.
Hindi lang sa itang tamagan, pero kung minsan...
Ang dami mo hinihingan.
Kung magagaling yan. And kung minsan, some are better than others.
Is it really time to have this,
It should be based
sir?
on risk, yes.
You know, is it really time to have this? As you mentioned, sir, passed in the last House.
Yes.
During the campaign, a number of candidates were also espousing this. You have 20 typhoons on average entering the Philippines. We have earthquakes. Is it about time that we have...
Long overdue. Kaya tagal na dapat may FEMA kasi based po doon sa Sunset Review under Republic Act 1021, yung NDREAM CF, nakalagay doon ang lumabas pa sa pag-aaral, kailangan po na isang mas malakas na unit o kaya ginawang department pagdating po sa emergency response. Kaya ibig sabihin, kailangan i-equip natin to, kailangan bigyan ng training. Kasi yung kalat-kalat ng training, mag-drill ka man for earthquake once every quarter. Dapat po lahat.
Yeah.
You know, in the whole world, we have the biggest number of children living in earthquake zones.
I can imagine, sir, the kind of responsibility nitong DDR. Yung kanyang scope of work, job description, and responsibility.
Yes. Pero tingnan mo rin yung risk. Dapat commensurate yung capacity sa risk. So, alam mo, tatlong bagay. One, nasa Pacific Ring of Fire tayo. Kaya may vulkan tayong mga active. Nasa earthquake belt tayo. Dorma tayo na lahat ng bagyo. Diba? Tapos grabe ang ating urbanization. Okay. And then of course, you have climate change impacts other than, you know, severe pong mga typhoons.
So yeah, we will tingnan natin, sir, if this will actually make it in this Congress, kung maipapasa po ito. And just very quickly, how much budget are you looking at for DDR?
Ang sabi ng 1.5 billion just to get it created.
Okay, just to get it created. All right. We've run out of time. We'd like to thank Albay Representative Joey Salsada. Sir, maraming salamat po sa inyo. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.
umaga, sa ngalan ni Ruth Cabal, ako si Ina Andulong. Ito ang Newsroom ngayon. Balita at serbisyo para sa Pilipino. Hagupit ng bagyong Tisoy, ramdam na. Libo-libong pamilya lumikas. Ilang biyahe sa dagat at himpapawid, paralisado rin. Ilang palaro sa 30th Southeast Asian Games, suspendido muna dahil sa bagyo. At magandang balita naman, Pilipinas inuulan ng gintong medalya sa Southeast Asian Games. Yan ang kuha habang binabayo ng malakas na hangin at ulan dulot ng bagyong Tisoy ang Naga, Camarines Sur kaninang madaling araw. Sa isla naman ng Boracay, malakas na hangin din ang naramdaman ngayong umaga mula nang tumama sa lupa ang bagyo. Habang sa Atimonan, Quezon, ito naman ang nakunan. Baha na ang ilang kalsada matapos ang magdamagang ulan at hangin. Ito naman ang mga larawan ng Legazpi Airport matapos tamaan ng bagyo, bumigay ang ilang bahagi ng pundasyon at bumagsak ang kisame sa paliparan. Napanatili ng bagyong Tisoy ang taglay nitong lakas ng hangin habang naglalakbay sa katimugang bahagi ng Luzon ngayong umaga. Base sa latest bulletin ng Pag-asa, nakataas pa rin ang signal number 3 sa Camarines Sur at Norte, Albay, Masbate, kabilang ang Ticao at Burias Islands, Romblon, timog na bahagi ng Quezon, Oriental at Occidental Mindoro, kasama ang Lubang Island, Batangas, Cavite at Laguna. Signal number 2 naman sa buong Central Luzon, Rizal, iba pang bahagi ng Quezon, kabilang ang Polillo Islands, Calamian at Cuyo Islands, Pangasinan, Catanduanes, Sorsogon at Metro Manila. Sa Visayas, nakataas din ang signal number 2 sa Northern Samar, Aklan, Capiz, Antique at hilagang bahagi ng Negros Occidental. Habang signal number 1 naman sa katimugang Isabela, Mountain Province, Ifugao, Benguet, Nueva Vizcaya, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Quirino, natitirang bahagi ng Aurora, Northern Palawan, Eastern Samar, Biliran, hilagang bahagi ng Negros Oriental at Occidental, hilagang Cebu, natitirang bahagi ng Antique at Iloilo, gayon din ang Guimaras at Leyte. Taglay pa rin ang bagyong Tisoy, ang hanging aabot sa 155 kilometers per hour malapit sa gitna at bugso na nasa 235 kilometers per hour. Kumikilos ang bagyo sa bilis na 20 kilometers per hour. Ayon sa Pag-asa, hanggang tanghali makakaranas ng ulan ng Bicol Region, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Central Luzon at maging dito sa Metro Manila. Inaasahan naman na muling tatama ang mata ng bagyo sa bahagi ng Marinduque, Simara at Banton Island bago magtanghali. Ramdam din ang bagsik ng bagyong Tisoy maging sa isla ng Boracay. Nakabantay doon ang aming senior correspondent na si David Santos. David?
Alam mo, Ina, pinili ng mga turista dito sa Boracay na manatili na lamang sa loob ng kanilang mga hotel habang binabayo ng bagyong Tisoy itong bahagi ng Kabisayaan. Kahapon nakita pa natin na puno ng mga turista na namamasal dito sa Boracay, lalong-lalo na dito sa Stations 2 and 3. Pero ngayon, bihira ka na makakita, Ina, ng mga tao naglalakad mismo sa beachfront. Magdamag ang malakas na hangin at ulan dito sa Boracay. Nag-umpisa ito pasadong hating gabi kanina at hanggang ngayon, dama pa rin natin ang bagsik ni Tisoy. Naglabas kahapon ng abiso ang lokal na pamahalaan ng Malay na bawal nang mag-swimming, dahil sa banta ni Tisoy. Kasabay niyan, wala na rin mga sports activity dito. At kung hindi tayo nagkakamali, pansamantalang suspendido na rin ang paglalayag ng mga inter-island ferry. Aalamin pa natin na, Ina, kung may mga insidente ng pagbaha dito sa Boracay gaya nung nangyari noong nakaraang Hulyo na isinisi naman sa mga di pa natatapos na mga drainage project na bahagi ng rehabilitasyon ng Boracay. Ina.
Maraming salamat, David Santos, nag-uulat mula Boracay Island. Patuloy na hinahagupit ng bagyong Tisoy ang Bicol Region, ilang bahagi ng Luzon at Visayas ayon sa Pag-asa. Napanatili ng bagyo ang lakas nito habang papalapit sa Marinduque. Naglandfall ang bagyo kagabi sa Sorsogon. Kamustahin natin ang sitwasyon doon. Makakausap natin ngayon si Sorsogon Governor Cheese Escudero. Magandang umaga, Governor.
Tina, magandang umaga sa ating televiewers at listeners. Magandang umaga din po.
Sir, kamusta po ang panahon dyan ngayon sa Sorsogon?
Tumigil ang ulan, wala na ring hangin. Tumigil kanina mga bandang alas 5, alas 6 na ng umaga. Hinagupit kami ng mahigit kumulang 12 oras mula alas 6 ng gabi kagabi. At kasalukuyan namin nililikom mga reports mula sa iba't ibang MD, RRMO sa buong lalawigan. Pero so far, salamat sa Diyos, wala pang reported casualty sa aming lalawigan.
Sir, nag-evacuate po ba kayo ng mga residente? No? At kung sakali man, kamusta sila? Dahil nabanggit ninyo, 12 oras kayong binayo ng bagyo.
Biyernes pa lamang, nagbigay na ako ng kautusan para magkaroon ng forced preemptive evacuation. At ang humigit kumulang na evacuate namin ng mga taong na evacuation centers mula sa kulang-kulang kalahati ng mga barangay na nasa danger zone ay umabot sa mahigit 50,000. Again, so far yung lugar na tinamaan o pinasukan o naglandfall si Bagyo Tisoy, ang mga bayan ng Pedro Diaz at Gubat, wala pang naiulat na casualty at umaasa, nagdarasal kami na sana manatili yun.
Sir, kamusta naman po ang linya ng kuryente at komunikasyon dyan?
Pinatay ang kuryente rito ng NGCP dahil may ilang torres silang tinamaan. At gayon din, pinagutos ko rin na putulin muna ang kuryente sa dalawang electric offices namin. Dahil maraming poste ang bumagsak na nakakali sa mga punong bumagsak din. At sa aming clearing operations para matiyak na bukas sa lahat ng kalye in case may emergency, ay kailangan muna putulin yung kuryente dahil baka may ma-accident o ma-kuryente habang nag-clearing operations kami. Ang communications, nire-establish pa lang din namin ngayon na wala ang communication namin kagabi ng alas 11. At unti-unti pa lamang bumabalik ang communication sa pamamagitan ng telco. At radio communications namin, unti-unti pa lang din bumabalik sa ngayon.
Okay, sir, I know you're still gathering information, sabi ninyo. Pero meron po ba kayong initial reports of flooding o landslides?
About 8 reports of landslide, pero minor lang naman, sakali lang at walang na-disgrasang tao. Dahil nga rin sa preemptive evacuation namin, at first preemptive evacuation namin pinatupad. Pangalawa, ang estimated damage namin ngayon, which is clearly partial, ay tinataya namin sa 667 million pa lamang. Pero initial report pa lamang ngayon, estimate pa lamang mula sa iba't ibang MAU, Municipal Agriculture Officer, at saka Social Welfare Development Officer.
Okay. Sir, sapat naman po ba ang supply sa ngayon para sa mga evacuees?
Opo, hindi namin ugaling mag-distribute ng relief goods sa evacuees dahil kahit bigyan namin ng 5 kilong bigis yan, 3 lata ng sardinas o ilape, wala naman silang pangsaing o pambuka man lamang o pangluto nun. Naglatag kami ng community kitchen na tinatawag o soup kitchen na tinatawag na iba. Sa kada evacuation center para 24/7 may makain sila. Lugaw nga lang yun, Ina. Pero pinag-aralan naman ng aming dietitian para tiyak namin na yung RDA na mi-meet habang sila ay nasa evacuation center. Mamimigay kami ng mga relief goods siguro pag uuwi na sila para may pagsimula ang aming mga kababayan dito sa lalawigan.
Speaking of yung mga baka po, may mga nagpaplano ng umuwi, Governor, dahil sabi ninyo, no, tumigil na rin yung ulan. Meron po ba kayong abiso sa mga residente dyan? Ano po ba dapat ang gawin nila sa mga oras na ito?
Binaba na ng Pag-asa ang warning signal sa amin to signal number 2 at sa susunod na mga oras, bababa pa yun. Ayon pa rin sa forecast ng Pag-asa. At iba't ibang weather forecasting agencies mula sa iba't ibang bansa na aming kinoconsider rin sa anumang papapasya. Sa totoo lang, basta ligtas na, wala nang badya ng landslide sa kanilang mga lugar. Mas pinapayo namin magsimula ng magkumpuni ng kanilang mga tahanan at buhay at magsimula na maglinis ang aming mga barangay. Upang sa gayon, sa pagpasok naman siguro sa ng Pasko, mas maganda-ganda naman na siguro dapat yung aming kapaliran para naman hindi pa kami namin maalala ang sinap namin sa Bagyong Tisoy.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Sorsogon Governor Cheese Escudero. Wala ng kuryente sa ilang bahagi ng Quezon Province habang patuloy na binabayo ang lalawigan ng malakas na hangin at ulang dala ng Bagyong Tisoy. Narito ang ulat ni Caroline Bonkin mula Atimonan, Quezon.
Mas masama na yung panahon ngayon dito sa Atimonan, Quezon mula pa kaninang hating gabi, ay nakakaranas na kami dito ng ganito kalakas na hangin at ulan. Papunta dito sa direksyong ito yung hangin at ang dami niyang nadadalang mga gamit, may mga kahoy at yero tayong nakikitang nalilipad dito. Hindi pa natin alam kung ano yung nangyayari dun sa ibang parte nitong Atimonan dahil kanina pang alas 3 ng madaling araw walang kuryente, wala ring signal ang ibang mga cellular sites dito. At sa ngayon nga, kung makikita mo dito sa lugar namin ngayon ay unti-unti na rin tumataas ang tubig. Ang sabi ng Atimonan na Public Information Officer sa atin kanina ay sarado na ang Maharlika Highway. Ito ang dinadaanan ng mga bus papunta sa Bicol at Metro Manila dahil sa mga natumbang puno at may mga nakuha rin silang report na may mga bahay na nasira. Pero mamaya o bukas pamalalaman kung gaano kalaki ang pinsalang dinala ng Bagyong Tisoy dito sa Atimonan, Quezon, oras na humupa na itong malakas na hangin at ulan. Mula dito sa Quezon Province, Caroline Bongkin, CNN Philippines.
Dahil din sa epekto ng Bagyong Tisoy, suspendido ang klase sa buong Metro Manila at iba pang probinsya sa Luzon. Makikita sa inyong mga screen ang listahan. Kabilang sa mga walang pasok ang Pasig, Quezon City, Valenzuela, Manila at Mandaluyong. Gayon din sa Camarines Sur, Camarines Norte, Sorsogon, Albay at Catanduanes. Samantala, nag-anunsyo na rin ng suspensyon ng trabaho ngayong araw ang House of Representatives. Manatiling nakatutok sa CNN Philippines para sa pinakabagong balita tungkol sa bagyo. Bisitahin din ang aming social media accounts at website para sa latest. Apektado rin ng Bagyong Tisoy ang 30th Southeast Asian Games. Ipinagpaliban ang ilang laro na nakaschedule ngayong araw dahil sa masamang panahon. Nasa International Broadcast Center sa Clark, Pampanga ang aming correspondent at si Paulo Barcelon. Paulo, ano-ano bang laro ang ipinagpaliban?
Ina, alam mo, unahin muna natin yung sitwasyon ng panahon dito sa may International Broadcast Center sa Clark, Pampanga. Medyo makulimlim na yung panahon dito at ramdam na rin yung malakas na hangin at merong kaunting pag-ambon. Pero hindi na rin nagtitik pa ng anuman tsansa itong mga organizers nitong SEA Games. In fact, nilipat na nila doon sa loob ng ASEAN Convention Center yung pila ng mga volunteers na kumukuha ng ID at ng kanilang damit para sa SEA Games. Yung mga kasamahan natin sa media ay nagbabari ng ilang mga gamit nila sa pagbo-broadcast bilang paghahanda na nga rin dun sa inaasahang magiging epekto ng Bagyong Tisoy. On to dun sa mga kanseladong laro ngayong araw, Ina, ay kanselado yung B Division Polo matches na dapat magsisimula ngayon. Iniurong yan bukas ayon na rin sa abiso ng competition manager nito na si Camila Lastrilla. Kanselado na din ang underwater hockey events ayon kay Dennis Valdez na competition manager. Kagabi nag-abiso na kanselado na din yung skateboard events, Ina, na dapat ay gagawin sana sa lungsod ng Tagaytay. Pati canoe-kayak at windsurfing ay kanselado, pero tuloy sa ngayon yung indoor events gaya ng indoor hockey at tuloy sa ngayon yung indoor hockey at cycling events. Ayon na rin yan sa abiso ng FISCO. Ina?
Paolo, pag-usapan naman natin ang medal tally. Ilan na ba ang gold natin ngayon?
So far, so good, Ina. Wala pa ring paggalaw doon sa ating medal tally. Nangunguna pa rin ang Pilipinas with 38 gold medals. Sa unang 2 araw pa lang yan ng laro ay nasurpass na natin yung ating 24 gold medals na nakuha doon sa 2017 Southeast Asian Games. Pangalawa pa rin ang Vietnam na may 15 gold medals at ang Malaysia na may 10 gold medals. Ilan naman sa mga tututukan nating posibleng magdala o atleta na posibleng magdala ng gold medals para sa ating bansa ay si Agatha Wong na siya'y lalaban doon sa ikalawang event ng Wushu, yung Women's Wushu Taijijan event. We're hoping na makakuha din siya ng kanyang ikalawang gintong medalya doon. Samantala, abangan din natin yung pagsabak sa 3 gymnastics events ng Gymnastic Dynamo na si Carlos Yulo. We're also hoping na sana makakuha rin siya ng ginto para sa host nation ng 30th Southeast Asian Games. Balik sa iyo, Ina.
Maraming salamat, Paulo Barcelo, nag-uulat mula International Broadcast Center sa Pampanga. Patuloy pa ring hinahagupit ng bagyong Tisoy ang Bicol Region at iba pang bahagi ng Visayas at Southern Luzon. Napanatili ng bagyo ang lakas nito ilang oras matapos ang unang landfall sa Sorsogon kagabi. Sa pakikipag-usap ni Sorsogon Governor Chis Escudero sa CNN Philippines, kani-kanina lang, sinabi niya na 12 oras silang binayo ng bagyo simula nang mag-landfall ito kagabi. Pero sa ngayon, tumigil na raw ang ulan at malalakas na hangin. Kasalukuyang kumakalap ng impormasyon ng LGU kung ano ang idinulot na pinsala ng bagyo sa probinsya. Sa ngayon, wala pang naiulat na casualty. May naiulat namang mga pagbaha at landslides. Aabot sa 50,000 katao ang inilikas bunsod ng bagyo. Abiso sa mga biyahero, ipapatigil ngayong araw ang lahat ng operasyon sa Ninoy Aquino International Airport dahil sa Typhoon Tisoy. Inanunsyo ng Manila International Airport, sarado ang paliparan mula alas 11 ng umaga hanggang alas 11 ng gabi. Ayon kay MIA General Manager Ed Monreal, gusto lang nilang matiyak ang kaligtasan ng mga pasahero kasunod ng inaasahang pananalasa ng bagyo. Pinayuhan din ng ahensya ang mga pasahero na makipag-ugnayan sa airline company. Oras na bumalik ang operasyon, bibigyang prioridad ang mga scheduled flight. Ipatutupad din daw nila ang first come, first served basis sa mga recovery flight. Halos 500 flights ang inaasahang maapektuhan ng pagsasara ng paliparan. Para sa kumpletong listahan ng mga kanseladong flights, bisitahin lang ang aming social media accounts at CNN Philippines. Samantala, kinumpirma ng Albay Public Safety and Emergency Management Office na lubhang napinsala ang Legazpi Airport sa Albay. Libo-libong pasahero ang stranded at kanselado muna ang mga flight. Hindi pa masabi kung kailan magbabalik operasyon ang paliparan. Sinusubukan pa namin kunin ang panig ng Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines o CAAP para alamin ang lagay ng mga paliparan sa bansa.
Yeah, it is substantially damaged. The front edge of the airport, the glass windows, the glass wall is down, including the ceiling. Kung mapapansin mo, kahit yung partition sa loob, doon sa may x-ray machine, bagsak din. Yung mga upuan, ang nakaupo, yung ceiling, na makikita ngayon siya, talagang disorganized and messy. It cannot not put immediately into operation sa tingin ko.
Sumabak ang Team Pilipinas sa Wushu, Gunshu at Nanquan competitions para sa 30th Southeast Asian Games. Binabantayan ng aming correspondent na si Chrissy Di Matulak ang laban. Chrissy, kamusta dyan?
Katatapos lang ng men's Wushu, Gunshu at Nanquan competitions para sa Southeast Asian Games dito sa World Trade Center. Lumahok para sa Pilipinas ay si John Seth Gaho na ikapito sa standing matapos nitong makakuha ng score na 9.35 sa Gunshu. At si Tonton Saya naman ang nag-perform para sa Nanquan. Siya ay nakakuha ng score na 9.61. Pigo pareho na makasungkit ng kahit anong medalya. Inaabangan natin ngayon ang Pilipinang si Agatha Wong na magpo-perform sa Women's Wushu Taiji Chen category. Nanalo ng silver medal si Wong sa nasabing kategorya noong 2017 SEA Games. At noong linggo ay nagawang depensahan ni Wong ang kanyang gold medal sa Taiji Chuan event. Habang kahapon lang ay nanalo ng silver medal si Jones Inso para sa men's division ng Taiji Chen. Ang Gunshu ay isang uri ng wushu na gumagamit sa wooden staff bilang main element, habang ang Nanquan ay hindi gumagamit ng props at nagpo-focus sa pagpapakita ng fighting skills. Ang Taiji Chen naman ay gumagamit ng espada bilang main element. Nina?
Maraming salamat, Chrissy Di Matulak, nag-uulat mula Pasay City. Kamustahin naman natin ang laban ng Team Pilipinas sa bowling event. Nasa Mandaluyong City si Sam Corrales. Sam, kamusta dyan?
Yes, Ina, nagsimula na ang bowling competition para sa 30th Southeast Asian Games dito sa Coronado Lane Star Mall, EDSA. Kabilang ang mga Pinoy na si Liza Del Rosario, Lara Posadas Wong, Alexis C. at Bea Fernandez sa women's singles. Narito na rin ang bowling legends na si Paeng Nepomuceno at Bongku para sumuporta sa mga atleta. Nakausap ko si Nepomuceno at sabi niya okay naman ang performance ng Team Philippines so far. Exciting din daw ang larong ito dahil mas mabilis ang laban sa SEA Games dahil 6 lang ang games bawat category at malalaman na natin kung sino ang magwawagi. Ngayon, Ina, nasa number 2 si Liza Del Rosario at number 3 naman si Lara Posadas Wong. Number 1 ngayon ang Malaysia pero mukhang kaya naman natin humabol dahil 3 points lang ang lamang niya. Mamayang hapon naman, Ina, lalaban ang men's singles team. Hanggang December 8 pa ang bowling competition pero sold out na ang tickets dito sa venue. Ang binebenta na lang daw sa ticket booth para sa mga nais manood ng larong football, volleyball at basketball. Ina, huling nakamit ng Pilipinas ang ginto sa bowling noong 2005 kung saan tayo ang host. Sana ngayong araw makakuha tayo ng medalya sa women's and men's singles sa bowling. Ina?
Maraming salamat, Sam Corrales, nag-uulat. Isa si Olympic silver medalist Heidelin Diaz sa mga nanalo ng gold medal kahapon. Matamis ang tagumpay para kay Diaz dahil ito ang kauna-unahan niyang gold sa SEA Games. May ulat si Pauline Versosa.
Nagwagi ang 2016 Olympic silver medalist na si Heidelin Diaz sa women's 55-kilogram weightlifting competition matapos niyang mabuhat ang total na 211 kilograms. Sa snatch session, 91 kilos ang pinakamabigat na nabuhat ni Diaz sa kanyang ikalawang attempt. Sa clean and jerk naman, confident at nakangiting ibinuhat ni Diaz ang pinakamabigat na 120 kilograms sa kanyang pangatlong attempt.
Iniisip ko lang na yung technique ko, then iniisip ko na ready ako and God's powerful champion ako. So by God, magagawa ko to kahit ang daming pressure, ang daming expectation pero kayang-kaya kasi prepared ako. Nandito ako para manalo.
Vietnam ang nakasungkit ng silver habang ang Indonesia naman ang nakakuha ng bronze. Ayon kay Diaz, espesyal ang kanyang pagkapanalo dahil ito ang unang beses na napanood siya ng kanyang mga magulang na lumipad pa galing Zamboanga.
Alegre means masaya daw po talaga.
Masaya kami. Bilang nanay, masaya kami para sa kanya. Kasi malaki kalanganan. Binigay siya hindi para sa ating bansa.
Nakadagdag din sa motibasyon ni Diaz ang daang-daang Pinoy na dumating sa Ninoy Aquino Stadium para suportahan siya. Mahalaga ang ginto ni Diaz dahil makakatulong ito sa kanyang bid para makapasok sa Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Naghahanda na ang 28 taong gulang na weightlifter para sa dalawang kompetisyon pa sa susunod na taon, kabilang ang World Cup at Asian Championships.
Medyo madugo ang Olympic qualifying, so include me in your prayers. At sana magawa kong mag-qualify then manalo sa Olympics. So malaking bagay sa akin na nandito ako, na nagawa ko ng maayos. Mentally, masasabi ko na medyo nandun na.
Pauline Versosa, CNN Philippines.
At yan ang mga balita at serbisyong hatid namin para sa Pilipino. Ito ang newsroom ngayon hanggang bukas. Sa ngalan ni Ruth Cabal, ako si Ina Andolong. 22 days na lang, Pasko na. Susunod na ang Sports Desk kasama si Andre Felix.
And Philippines weightlifter Margaret Colonia gives the Philippines another silver medal in the Southeast Asian Games. Paolo Barcelon is at the International Broadcast Center in Clark, Pampanga, the central hub of the media for the SEA Games. Paolo.
Andre, just like what you mentioned, another silver medal, and that's the first silver medal for the country today as Margaret Colonia wins that silver medal in the women's 59-kilogram weightlifting event. She lifted a total of 82 kilograms in the snatch category while lifting 107 kilograms in the clean and jerk event. to gain a total score of 189 kilograms. Now, Hoang Thi Duyen of Vietnam will get the gold medal with a total score of 210 points, while Andriani Putri of Indonesia will take the bronze medal with 177 at her score. Meantime, another sport aside from weightlifting, we also have a bronze medal in the Wushu men's duels event. That's courtesy of John Zet Gaho, Jones Inso, and Thornton Sayang. So this makes 1 silver and 1 bronze medal for the Philippines. We're now at 39 golds, 21 silvers, and 14 bronze medals as of 11:25 this morning. Back to you, Andre.
Thank you, Pao. Again, that was Paulo Barcelon reporting from the International Broadcast Center in Clark, Pampanga. So again, breaking news. The Philippines gets another silver medal courtesy of Margaret Colonia, winning in the women's weightlifting 59-kilogram event. This is the first silver medal for the Philippines today. So far, 21 silver medals for the Philippines. Earlier, Agatha Wong got her second gold medal in the SEA Games after winning last Sunday for the women's Taiji Kwan event. Agatha Wong gaining that gold medal, dominating that women's Taiji Jian event after getting silver back in 2017 in Kuala Lumpur. And then for the men's duel in Wushu, Jonzet Gaho, Jones Inso, and Thornton Sayan, as what Paulo mentioned, got our 14th bronze medal. So a total of 74 medals already for the Philippines in this year's Southeast Asian Games. Meantime, an update on Typhoon Tisoy. Work in all government offices in Metro Manila suspended starting 12 noon today. Keep safe, everyone, and stay tuned to CNN Philippines for more updates on the Southeast Asian Games. I'm Andre Felix.
Narito na ang balitaan sa CNN Philippines. Bagyong Tisoy, magdamag na humagupit sa Bicol. Mga linya ng kuryente at komunikasyon pinabagsak. Operasyon ng Ninoy Aquino International Airport, paralisado, halos 500 flights, kansilado dahil sa bagyo. At ilang kompetisyon sa Southeast Asian Games ipinagpaliban. Magandang tanghali, ako po si Pinky Webb. Patuloy ang paghagupit ng Bagyong Tisoy. Una itong tumama sa lupa ng Sorsogon kagabi at nanalasa sa buong Bicol. Kaninang alas 8:30 na umaga, naglandfall naman ito sa Marinduque at ngayon tinutumbok ang bahagi ng Batangas at Oriental Mindoro. Sa Albay, nasira po ang ilang bahagi ng Legazpi City Domestic Airport dahil sa hagupit ng bagyo. Tuklap ang kisame ng paliparan. Nagkalat sa sahig ang mga piraso ng plywood at tumaob ang ilang upuan. Nilipad din pati bubong ng airport. Nabuwal din maging ang malalaking puno sa Legazpi, pati ang poste ng kuryente naputol dahil sa lakas ng hangin. Nayupi naman ang yerong ginawang bakod sa isang bahay sa Sorsogon matapos madaganan ng puno. Nagbagsakan din ang malalaking puno roon at nagkalat ang mga dahon. Hindi rin nakaligtas ang Camarines Norte sa hagupit ng bagyo. Sa video na ito, makikitang napataob ng malakas na hangin ang ilang karatula at nagkalat sa kalsada ang putol-putol na sanga ng puno. Binaha naman ang ilang kalsada sa Atimonan, Quezon. Sa lakas ng hangin, makikita ang pag-agos ng baha at paggalaw ng mga puno. At ramdam din ang hagupit ng bagyo hanggang Visayas. Sa isang beach sa Northern Samar, halos mag-zero visibility dahil sa lakas ng hangin at ulan. Kita rin ang malalaking hampas ng alon. Sa isla naman ng Boracay, walang katao-tao sa beach dahil nga sa kasagsagan ng bagyo. Malakas din ang ulan at hangin sa isla. Alamin na natin ang latest mula sa Pag-asa tungkol sa Bagyong Tisoy. Makibalita tayo sa aming correspondent na si Zian Arcangel. Live mula sa Pag-asa. Zian, nasa na ang bagyo ngayon?
Pinky, bahagyang humina ang bagyong Tisoy habang bumilis ang pagbaybay nito pakanluran. Ayon sa weather bulletin na inilabas ng Pag-asa ngayong 11 a.m. na mataan ang bagyong Tisoy 55 kilometers silangan ng Calapan City, Oriental Mindoro. May lakas itong 150 kilometers per hour at pagbugso na aabot sa 205 kilometers per hour. Gumagalaw ito pakanluran sa bilis na 25 kilometers per hour. Noong 8:30 a.m. naganap ang pangatlong landfall ng bagyo sa Marinduque. Sa ngayon, nakataas ang storm signal number 3 sa Burias Island, Romblon, Timog Quezon, Marinduque, Oriental Mindoro, Occidental Mindoro, kasama ang Lubang Island, Batangas, Cavite at Laguna. Samantala, storm signal number 2 naman sa Camarines Sur, Camarines Norte, Albay, Catanduanes, Sorsogon, Metro Manila, Bulacan, Bataan, Tarlac, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Timog Aurora, Rizal at ibang bahagi ng Quezon. Nasa ilalim naman ng storm signal number 1 ang Timog Isabela, Benguet, Nueva Vizcaya, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Quirino, ibang bahagi ng Aurora at hilagang bahagi ng Palawan. Bagamat bahagyang humina ang bagyo, makararanas pa rin ng madalas at malakas na pag-ulan sa Romblon, Marinduque, mga probinsya ng Mindoro, Calabarzon, Metro Manila, Bataan, Pampanga at Bulacan ngayong tanghali hanggang hapon. May malakas pero occasional na pag-ulan namang mararanasan sa Bicol Region at buong Central Luzon. May banta pa rin ng daluyong o storm surge sa coastal area sa Batangas, Marinduque, mga probinsya ng Mindoro, Romblon, Cavite at Batangas. Bukas ng umaga, inaasahang nasa 280 kilometers west-southwest ng Subic, Zambales ang bagyong Tisoy. Ang sabi ng Pag-asa, lalo pang hihina ang bagyo habang bumabaybay ito pakanluran pero magdadala pa rin ito ng pag-ulan sa malaking bahagi ng Luzon. Pagdating naman ng Huwebes, inaasahang nasa labas na ng Philippine Area of Responsibility ang bagyo sa layong 615 kilometers west ng Subic, Zambales. Pinky?
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Zian Arcangel, nag-uulat. Isa ang naiulat na nasawi sa bayan ng Libmanan. Doon po yan sa Camarines Sur, ayon kay Office of Civil Defense Bicol Director Claudio Yucot, nasawi ang isang lalaki matapos makuryente habang naghahanda sa pagdating ng bagyo. Samantala, nagpadala na rin ang OCD ng mga tauhan para alamin ang sitwasyon sa mga probinsyang naputulan ng komunikasyon.
Sa ngayon, wala pa kaming na-monitor na mga casualties except yung nandun sa Libmanan na kuryentehan.
Opo.
Kahapon, Marco Paulo Orsua, kanyang pangalan, ay 33 years old. Yun lamang aming na-monitor na casualties so far. Kasi yung ating areas na medyo na matindi ang tama, yung Sorsogon at saka Catanduanes, ay wala tayong signal ngayon doon. Down yung ating mga telcos. The only communication we have is the radio communications provided by the Philippine Army.
Siniguro naman ni Albay Congressman Joey Salceda na magbabalik operasyon ang Legazpi Airport bukas ng umaga. Sa programang The Source, sinabi ni Salceda na manual muna ang operasyon habang inaayos pa ang pinsalang natamo ng paliparan.
I think we are recovering fast. With respect to that airport, I've talked to Kaap and to Secretary Tugade. We will resume flights tomorrow morning.
Okay.
In fact, yung Metro Manila, kung mag-resume sila, resume na kami.
Yeah, pero it said it sustained some damages, the airport itself.
Ibo-board up lang, magpapadala ng personnel kasi baka yung mga personnel doon ay apektado din. So we'll do manual inspection ng mga baggage kasi ang pinaka-importante lang is security of departure.
Patuloy rin ang clearing operations ng Department of Public Works and Highways sa mga kalsadang tinamaan ng bagyong Tisoy. Ayon kay Congressman Salceda, target nilang tapusin ang paglilinis ng mga kalsada ngayong araw.
Yung manifestation, fallen flying roofs, fallen trees, isolated floods, and then basically, siyempre, may preemptive na brownout. Nagsimula na po kami ng clearing, kanina pang alas 5 na umaga, right after umalis po yung eyewall. And then, so by lunch, yung major national roads po sa Albay, sa 2nd District cleared. And then yung mga secondary roads, we're doing secondary roads within the day.
Mapapanood ang buong panayam kay Salceda sa The Source mamayang alas 2 ng hapon at alas 7:30 ng gabi. Isa po ang Legazpi sa pinaka-napuruhan ng bagyong Tisoy. Makibalita tayo sa aming stringer na si Rosas Olarte. Rosas, kamusta na ang sitwasyon dyan ngayon?
Yes, Pinky. Idineklara ngayong umaga ni Mayor Noel Rosal ng Legazpi City na zero casualty ang lungsod matapos ang hagupit ni Bagyong Tisoy dito sa Bicol. Hindi tinulugan ni Rosal ang pag-aasikaso lalo pat nakaamba kagabi ang inaasahang landfall dito. Wala pa ring supply ng kuryente dahil isolated ang Bicol grid ayon sa National Grid Corporation of the Philippines o NGCP at maaring abutin ng ilang linggo ang clearing at restoration. Wala ring tubig mula sa Legazpi City Water District. Sarado pang mga malls at supermarkets at walang pasok sa mga paaralan at opisina. Lahat abala sa paglilinis ng kanya-kanyang bahay. Mahigpit naman ang seguridad, pagpasok at maging pagkuha ng video o pictures sa nasirang terminal facilities ng Legazpi City Domestic Airport. Sinubukan ng CNN Philippines na makuna ng interview si CAAP Area Head Cynthia Tumanot, ngunit abala raw ito sa pag-iikot. Ayon kay Albay 2nd District Congressman Joey Sauceda, nakikipag-ugnayan ang kanyang tanggapan sa CAAP at Department of Transportation upang maibalik ang operasyon ng airport bukas. Ayon din sa Office of Civil Defense, aabot sa 360,000 katao o 90,000 families sa Bicol Region ang apektado ni Tisoy. Isinasagawa pa ang damage assessment report sa iba't ibang levels. Pinky?
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Rosa Solarte, nag-uulat mula sa Legazpi City. At kamustahin naman natin ang sitwasyon ng mga taga-Sorsogon. Makakausap natin ang isa sa mga residente roon, si Mutya Aykotso. Mutya, magandang tanghali sa iyo.
Magandang tanghali, Miss Pinky.
Okay, kamusta ang lagay muna ng panahon dyan ngayon? Dahil alam nga natin kagabi dyan nag-landfall si Tisoy.
Tama po kayo. Makulimlim pa rin po eh. Mabugso pa rin yung ulan, tapos may hangin pa rin kaunti.
Pero hindi katulad kagabi.
Ay, hindi po. Grabe talaga yung kagabi, ma'am. Nandito rin po ako nung panahong Typhoon Glenda. Mas malakas po yung naranasan namin kagabi. Naiiyak nga po ako kasi pagising namin, eto po tumambad sa aking paningin. Isang halos 8 foot na puno nalaglag sa may bandang kusina namin. And akala lang namin may nalaglag lang na sanga, yung pala yung buong puno na napatumba ng Typhoon Tisoy.
Oo, pinapakita namin yung mga video, Mutya, no? Maraming salamat. Ito, tsaka itong mga photos galing sa iyo to.
Opo.
Okay, so bigla na lang kagabi may nabuwal na puno. Paano mo pa malalarawan sa amin kung gaano katindi yung hagupit kagabi?
Ma'am, imagine niyo na lang na parang nasa airport kami no, yung mga aeroplano ng jumbo jet, mga ganyan. Pero 3 hours na ganun yung lakas ng hangin.
Ilang oras, Mutya?
3 oras po halos.
Tuloy-tuloy.
Nag-start siya ng 8 to 11. Tapos akala namin wala na kasi kalmado na. Impuli na yung eye of the storm. Tapos umulit from 1 a.m. hanggang alas 4 ng umaga po. So, yun lang kami nakahinga-hinga. Pero pag makita niyo po ngayon talaga tumba mga puno, mga pananim. Kasi hindi rin namin alam ang sitwasyon sa gubat kung saan naglandfall. Mas malamang po kaawa-awa talaga ang nararanasan ng iba ngayon.
Mutya, buti na lang natatawagan ka pa namin kasi kanina nakausap ko yung Office of Civil Defense at sinabi nga bagsak kasi yung komunikasyon dyan sa Sorsogon at sa Catanduanes.
Totoo yan, ma'am. Yung ibang network wala na. Kasi ito, himala siguro na natatawagan niyo pa ako kasi pawala-wala po ang signal talaga sa amin.
Okay, at least. So, anong plano niyo ngayon? Sabi mo nga medyo pabugso-bugso ang ulan at hangin. So, nakakalabas naman kayo. Does it seem like it's safe na lumabas na ng inyong mga tahanan?
Sa akin po, ligtas siya. Pero lahat po kami naglilinis ngayon and nandun po yung pasasalamat pa rin sa Diyos na nabuhay. Po talaga ang hirap ng wala pong kuryente. Marami rin siguro po ang nasa evacuation pa ngayon kasi maaga po kaming binigyan ng curfew na bawal na pong magstay sa landslide and flood-prone areas. So may mga tao po ngayon na kailangan ng temporary shelter, yung mga ganun po ma'am, tsaka tubig na may inom, pagkain.
Oh, Mutya, mag-ingat kayo dyan. At maraming salamat sa iyo kay Mutya ay Kocho, isa po siyang residente ng Sorsogon City. Thank you, Mutya. At kamustahin din natin ang probinsya naman ng Quezon. Kausapin natin ngayon Quezon Governor Danilo Suarez. Gov, magandang tanghali po sa inyo.
Hi, Pinky.
Sir, kamusta ang sitwasyon dyan ngayon?
Well, medyo mahina na ang hangin. Kanina, napakalakas. Alam mo, Pinky, ito ang malakas na bagyo na na-experience ko in my life. Nadaig nito yung Glenda, nadaig yung Rosing sa lakas.
Anong oras, Gov, yung pinakamatindi masasabi mo na naranasan nyo dyan?
Started at about, tsaka mahaba ito, Pinky. Hindi katulad ng ibang bagyo, sandali lamang na malakas. Ito, malakas na matagal.
Opo.
Started mga bandang kagabi pa. Mga bandang 1, 2 in the morning. Tuloy-tuloy yan. Ngayon lang medyo humupa-hupa ng konti. Kaya ang tagal.
Gov, ano po ang inyong nakukuhang report? Nakita ko po sa inyong Facebook site ata na nakipag-meeting kayo sa ilan sa mga opisyal dyan.
Kahapon, nag-prepare na kami, Pinky, ng mga coordinated action. Ito ang report ko, meron kami ngayong nasa evacuation center na nasa, as of now, about 37,000 or about 13,000 families. Yun, forced evacuation yun kasi nasa mga tabi ng coastal municipality yun. Our food packs are there, we have medicines, we have sleeping material. Nandun na. Dumating na rin yung tulong ng DSWD sa amin kahapon pa. So, wala kaming injury up to now. Wala kaming, except one, pero hindi typhoon related, Pinky, the vehicular accident ng motorsiklo. So, yung mataas naming SARGs, yung typhoon SARGs, dito sa bayan ng San Andres, dito sa may Pacific side, sa may Infanta, Pulillo, but lahat manageable. Lahat manageable.
Nagliliparan ho yung mga yero, Gov?
Marami.
Oo.
Inevitable yan. Marami kaming nawalang yero. Ang masakit sa amin, ubos yung aming banana. Mawawala ng saging ang banana chips. Alam mo, at saka, masakit ito sa punong nyog. Kung kailan nag-improve ang presyo, saka naman
tinamaan.
Nagkaroon kami ng tama.
Oo. Gov, meron ho bang kuryente dyan ngayon?
Right now, wala. Kapapatay lang. Ganito, we are divided, Pinky, Meralco yung first and second, third and fourth is Kiselco, that's a cooperative. Kahapon pa wala nang ilaw ang... Pero kami, dito sa Lucena, sa second district, intermittent. May area na may kuryente, may area na wala.
So, sa mga oras na ito, Gov, medyo humina na, you would say, yung lakas ng hangin at ng ulan?
Wala na. Well, as I've said, manageable na, Pinky.
Opo.
Pwede ka na maglakad sa labas ng bahay mo. Pabugso-bugsong ulan. Pero ang huli kasi minomonitor na namin, nandito kasi kompleto, nandito Pag-asa, nandito ang DOST.
Yes,
nasa ibaba na ng lampas na dito sa may area na sila ng Mindoro at saka Marinduque.
Opo. Okay. So, konting pag-iingat pa rin, syempre, Governor, sa inyo at sa inyong mga constituents dyan. Governor Danilo Suarez ng Quezon, sir, maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Pinky, thanks for the...
Definitely, sir. Maraming salamat. Thank you. At susunod, daan-daang flights naman sa NAIA kanselado dahil sa Bagyong Tisoy at ilang laro din sa SEA Games apektado ng bagyo. Magbabalik ang balitaan sa CNN Philippines. Nagsimula na ang kalahating araw sa pagsasara sa Ninoy Aquino International Airport bilang paghahanda nga sa paghagupit ng bagyong si Tisoy. Makibalita tayo roon mula sa aming correspondent na si AC Nichols. AC, wala na ba talaga bumabiyaheng airplano dyan?
Well, Pinky, nag-ikot tayo kanina lang sa NAIA Terminal 1 kung saan dumaraan ang karamihan ng mga international flights at halos walang tao sa loob ng terminal maliban syempre sa airport employees. Yung mga check-in counter sarado na. Pero may mangilan-ngilan tayong mga kababayan na naka-standby. May nagsasabi na hindi raw sila naabisuhan kasi nakanselado yung kanilang flight. Yung iba naman pumunta doon pero nabigyan ka agad ng panibagong itinerary para bukas kapag bukas na yung airport. So ayaw na nilang umuwi. Doon na lang daw sila sa airport maghihintay. Meron din tayong nakausap na reschedule ang flight pero next week pa kaya wala talagang choice kundi umuwi muna. Ngayon paulit-ulit ang mga paalala ng mga airport officials na kung meron ho kayong flight apektado ng closure, wag nang magpumilit na pumunta pa sa airport. Kasi sa ngayon, nakita natin yung mga runway, wala na ho talagang mga eroplano dyan. At maghintay na muna kayo ng abiso mula sa mga airlines kung kailan ang rescheduled or rebooked flight ninyo. Airline lang ang makakasagot kung kailan na ho matutuloy yung mga flight ninyo na nakansela. Pinky?
AC, hanggang 11 p.m. pa ba ang closure? Meron bang chance na ma-extend pa kaya ito?
Well, yung patungkol dyan sa possible extension, Pinky, ang sabi ng airport management sa ngayon, tuloy lang muna yung 11 a.m. hanggang 11 p.m. lang muna. Pero syempre, depende pa rin yan sa taya ng panahon mamaya. Isa sa tinitingnan ay yung gustiness o pagbugso ng hangin. So kapag nakita nila na ganun pa rin kalakas kagaya ng kasalukuyan, posibleng mag-extend pa. Pero sakali naman na, and hopefully din, matuloy yung plano na hanggang 11 p.m. lang at magbukas na mamayang gabi, regularly scheduled flights daw muna ang magiging priority. So yung mga canceled flights, depende pa ho kung kailan maisisingit yan. Slotting system ang gagawin. So nag-submit na ang mga airlines ng mga proposed schedule nila para sa mga recovery flights. Ngayon nagko-coordinate sila with airport management kung paano ma-accommodate itong mga recovery flights na ito. Pero hindi madali yan, Pinky, dahil alam naman natin, daan-daan yung mga affected flights. So sa mga stranded, pasensya ho ang kailangan ninyo, asahan nyo na rin na magkakaroon ng mga delays or ng abala. Pinky?
Maraming salamat sa iyo. AC Nichols nag-uulat mula sa NAIA. Hindi rin nakaligtas ang isla ng Boracay kay Bagyong Tisoy. Kamustahin natin ang sitwasyon doon. Makibalita tayo kay David Santos. David?
Yes, Pinky, ilang oras na binabayo na malakas na hangin at ulan ang isla ng Boracay. Kaya pinili na rin muna ng mga turista na manatili sa loob ng kanilang mga hotel. Naglabas na rin kasi ng abiso ang pamalang lokal ng Malay na bawal na ang swimming simula pa kahapon dahil sa banta ni Tisoy. Magdamag hinagupit ng bagyo ang Boracay. Nag-umpisa ito pasadong hating gabi kanina at hanggang ngayon dama pa rin natin ang bagsik ni Tisoy. Although as we speak, Pinky, bahagya na itong humihina. Kahapon nakita pa natin ng mga turista na namamasyal dito sa Boracay, lalong-lalo na sa mga kilalang lugar gaya ng Stations 2 and 3. Pero ngayon, mangilan nila na lang yung mga makikita nating tao na naglalakad sa may beach front. At dahil bawal ang swimming, wala na rin ang mga sports activity. Kasabay na rin yan ang pansamantalang pagsuspindi ng paglalayag ng mga inter-island ferry. Kanina, naabutan pa natin ang ilang mga empleyado ng mga establishmento na naglalagay ng mga plastic barriers bilang panangga sa hangin at ulan. Aalamin pa natin mamaya-maya, Pinky, kung may insidente ng pagbaha dito sa Boracay gaya nung nangyari nung nakaraang mga buwan. May sinisi naman sa mga di pa natapos na mga drainage project na bahagi ng rehabilitasyon ng isla. Pinky?
Maraming salamat sa iyo, David Santos, nag-uulat. At ilan po mga laro sa SEA Games ipinagpaliban dahil sa Bagyong Tisoy. Alamin sa pagbabalik ng balitaan sa CNN Philippines. At patuloy ang pamamayagpag ng mga atletang Pinoy sa ikatlong araw ng SEA Games kung saan nakakuha muli tayo ng mga medalya. Makabalita tayo kay Paulo Barcelon sa International Broadcast Center. Paulo.
Well, Pinky, konting time out lang muna tayo sa mga balitang ukol sa bagyo dahil tila hindi nito natitinag yung ating mga atleta na makakuha ng iba't ibang medalya sa isinasagawa ngayon na 30th Southeast Asian Games. Kani-kanina lamang ay nanalo ng 2 sunod na gold medal ang ating mga arnisadors na sina Chris Selmuel Delfin at Mary Aline Aldeguer sa kanilang men's and women's non-traditional open weapon event. Bago nito, Pinky, nasungkit naman ni Wushu star Agatha Wong ang kanyang ikalawang gintong medalya sa women's Wushu Taiji Jian event. Nung nakaraang SEA Games, Pinky, ay nag-second place finish lamang o silver medal yung nakuha ni Agatha Wong. Pero ngayon, nakakuha na siya ng gold medal dyan sa women's Wushu Taiji Jian event na yan. Pasado alas 11 naman ng umaga nang makuha ni Margaret Coronia ang silver medal sa women's weightlifting 59 kilograms event. Ito yung unang silver medal natin ngayong araw. Dumagdag naman sa ating bronze medal tally yung mga pambato ng Pilipinas sa Wushu men's duels. Yan ay sina John Zeth Gaho, Jones Inso, and Thornton Sayan. Mamaya namang hapon, abangan natin yung magiging ikalawang sabak ni gymnastics dynamo Carlos Yulo. Nung linggo, nasungkit niya yung una niyang ginto doon sa nasabing sport. Samantala, balik tayo doon sa epekto nga nitong bagyong Tisoy dito sa mga isinasagawang laro sa SEA Games. Ay medyo makulimlim na itong paligid ng International Broadcast Center, Pinky. Buong umaga, malakas na rin yung hangin, may manakanakang pag-ulan. Dahil din sa bagyo ay kanselado na yung ibang mga palarong nakaschedule sana ngayong araw, gaya na lamang nitong sepak takraw, B-Division polo matches, underwater hockey, at yung skateboard events na dapat igagawin din sa Tagaytay City. Pero tuloy naman yung ibang mga laro, gaya na lamang nitong bowling event na isinasagawa ngayon at maging yung billiards na isinasagawa naman dyan sa Metro Manila. Balik sa iyo, Pinky.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Paulo Barcelon, nag-uulat. At yan ang kabuuan ng balitaan ngayong Martes, December 3, 2019 at 22 days na lang. Pasko na. Ako po si Pinky Webb. Hanggang bukas, magandang tanghali.
Pa rin naman sa Central Luzon, but bukas ng umaga po ay halos lahat po ay mag-improve na yung weather. May mga sunny periods na po tayo dito sa Metro Manila bukas. Kaya hindi siya nire-recommend na mawala ng pasok bukas.
Yung update po natin dun sa meron pa hong isang low pressure area na medyo malayo pa. Ito ho ba'y may epekto dun sa paglabas ho nitong si Tisoy?
Yes, may mga nagtatanong na rin po at nakakapansin, we have here cloud clusters. Ito po ay isang low pressure area sa may silangan ng Mindanao, nasa around 2,000 kilometers away. And base naman po sa ating analysis, ito ay mananatili pa rin bilang isang low pressure area habang unti-unting nag-westward movement din po. So, posible rin itong pumasok ng PER sa darating po na Friday. Pero yung assessment natin ito sa ngayon ay mababa po ang tsansa na ito ay magiging isang bagyo. Hindi pa naman siya nakikita na magsusunod dito kay Tisoy.
Yung projected time ng exit nitong si Tisoy, wala ho bang pagbabago, sir?
Ganun pa rin po. Based sa latest track ng Pag-asa, we're seeing December 5, that's Thursday ng umaga, ay nandito siya sa may area ng West Philippine Sea, sa labas ng PAR.
Kung patuloy ho ang pagganda.
All right, Pag-asa has just given us an update on Typhoon Tisoy, which has made landfall once again, this time over Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro at noon today. The storm has slightly weakened, but is still packing winds of 140 kilometers per hour near the center and gusts of up to 195 kph.
I used to play golf, but normally pag thunderstorm and heavy rain, then we have to stop. But we're waiting, and aquatics, we're just waiting for some adjustments. New Clark City, we are still checking on this. So these are the updates for today, and I hope the weather improves after the typhoon passes through not really Manila, but Mindoro. According to Pag-asa, the second landfall will be in Mindoro this afternoon, and of course the rains will be, affecting these areas. Of course, parts of Metro Manila are also affected. But we are all now making all the contingencies of accommodating our departing athletes and also the incoming athletes tomorrow, because there are a lot of cancelled flights. So this is a big bulk. I think tomorrow, like basketball, will be a big bulk tomorrow. So we'll make adjustments on this. Okay, thank you. Questions?
Questions, please, Madam.
Sir, from CNN Philippines po. Sir, ilan po yung expected athletes natin na pwedeng ma-stranded or yung hindi pa nakakalupad?
The big bulk is Indonesia. I just have here the Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesia. There's triathlon, wushu, kuras, cycling, 3-on-3 basketball that are leaving. It's not that much, but it's quite a delegation also. They're departing tonight, pa naman, 9 o'clock. So if the flight will resume tonight, kung kunyari 11, if they flight at, if 11 is okay, maybe they can depart past midnight. Hopefully they can depart. But again, our accommodation department already in place to have them ready if in case they need to stay one more night going back.
Pa po bang mga darating na ina-expect natin?
Yeah, of course, we were expecting today the basketball teams to arrive, but the flights are canceled from different countries, Bangkok, Jakarta. So I think we expect them to arrive maybe early morning tomorrow, because basketball needs to start a training supposedly tomorrow. So the competition manager for basketball are also adjusting this for MOA Arena. So we are ready in the airport now, just waiting for the resume of the flights. Hopefully midnight or early morning for all the flights.
Sir, good afternoon. Bernadette Reyes from GMA7. Sir, some athletes are concerned about the possibility of compressing the schedule because then it might be physically exhausting for them. While some sports officials are saying that if the games would be extended, there might be problems when it comes to logistics.
Okay. Normally, as I said, in any multi-sport event, there are no extension of days. Even in the Olympic Games, Asian Games, there is always an adjustment. Let's say, for example, volleyball. We didn't play volleyball today. Tomorrow, they have to congest because there's men and women. So they have to put the women first and then the men. So the technical delegates are aware of this. These teams are well aware of this, these adjustments on the competition time and the competition format. So they are ready, and the NOC is being informed of this. And hopefully these adjustments will not really affect the performance. But again, it's out of our control to have this typhoon. And hopefully we can adjust. Because if we need to, just to let you know, in the Olympic Games, there were competition held midnight hanggang morning. Ganun na Olympic Games because of the time sometimes. So we can do that also. Kung kailangan umabot tayo ng alas 12 ng gabi, basta tapusin lang para nakakapahinga. Because you need to rest 6 hours before your next match, for your next training. So that is the rule in all sports. At least you should give each team 6 hours rest before the next training or the next match.
So, sir, to clarify, the game schedules would end by December 10th, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, yeah. If necessary, we must finish, if there's an extension, December 11 at noontime. Because we have the closing ceremony at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, if necessary. But I'm sure with our expertise on the technical delegates of the different sports, they know what to do already.
Thank you, sir.
Question, please. Thank you.
I'm Tama from Top Score Indonesia. I just want to ask you: is there any chances that the athletes will forfeiting the matches if the bad weather is continue? If the bad weather is still happening here, is there any chances that the athletes will be forfeiting the match? Yeah.
No, they will not be forfeited because the technical delegates are aware of these weather conditions. We don't forfeit unless there is a delay on the transportation, but we make sure that the athletes are arriving on time. This is part of our role as organizers and the role of the participating team. So we make sure there should be no forfeit.
Any other questions? Sir?
Okay, I'm Nopaiton from INDV Jakarta. INDV Jakarta, Indonesia. Yeah. How about the football team Indonesia with Brunei in B9? Is this cancelled too, or is okay in 8 o'clock p.m.?
Okay, football. As of now, football is still okay. There's no cancellation. We have not received news from the technical delegate and competition manager that it will be cancelled for. You're asking Binyang, right? So at the moment, no cancellation. I think I see the weather. As long as there's no thunderstorm, this is my my understanding. Football. As long as there's no thunderstorm, football can play even with the rain. As long, of course, if the football pitch is not flooded, you know. So at the moment, it's still okay. And there is a rule already for FISGOC and the football competition director.
Any questions? Last one.
Hi, I'm from the Straits Times in Singapore. Yeah, how do you brief your tournament supervisors or your competition managers on how early to decide whether to call off the matches or the games? Because I understand that at tennis this morning, some of the athletes were waiting for hours before the supervisor decided to cancel.
Well, the technical delegate knows this by experience as an expertise of the sport like tennis. So he wants to make sure that the field of play is safe for the athlete. So even if you wait 2 hours, 3 hours, that is really part of the decision of the technical delegate. Of course, the athletes has to wait, but because of the weather conditions, we need to really evaluate if the technical delegate say it's safe to play. It's not safe to play, and we apologize for all the athletes to wait for 2 to 3 hours, as you said earlier. So what is important? The role of the technical delegate is to make sure that the field of play is safe to play, and the equipment are safe, and the athletes are safe.
Okay, last one. Thank you.
Just a Vietnamese reporter, and we really concerned about the match football tonight. Vietnam with Singapore. And how about your decision if it's continuing rainy? What is the decision tonight?
As I said earlier, the technical delegate must decide as soon as possible because right now football is still okay. I think that's an 8 o'clock match, right?
8 o'clock p.m.
Yeah. Vietnam against Singapore. At the moment, I spoke to the competition manager. It's still okay. You want me to call him?
Who?
You want me to call the competition manager?
Okay. Because his stadium Rizal Memorial is affected.
The Philippine SEA Games Organizing Committee has just wrapped up its media briefing on the status of the Games in light of Typhoon Tisoy, which continues to bring heavy rains and strong winds to large parts of the country. FISGOC COO Ramon Suzara says that a large number of games were postponed, but some sports like football and volleyball will push through this afternoon and evening. They say that they will be making further announcement on game schedules like wakeboarding and golf. Now, Suzara confirms arrangements have been made for departing athletes, while adjustments are being made for arriving athletes. Flights at all 4 NAIA terminals have been canceled until 11 p.m. today, of course, because of the typhoon. Now, Suzara adds all games must be completed by noon of December 11. You can watch more of this briefing on our Facebook Live. Just go to facebook.com/CNN Philippines. We'll be back after a short break. Keep it here on CNN Philippines. Breaking news here on CNN Philippines. 2 people are dead in Oriental Mindoro at the onslaught of Typhoon Tisoy. This was confirmed by Oriental Mindoro Governor Bons Dolor. Typhoon Tisoy made its 4th landfall in Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro at 12:30 p.m. today. Earlier, 2 people were also reported dead in Ormoc City and Libmanan, Camarines Sur, bringing the total death toll to at least 4. And still due to the bad weather, classes are suspended in some areas tomorrow. There are no classes in all levels, public and private schools in Albay, Masbate City, Alfonso, Cavite, Magdalena, Laguna, Mahayhay, Laguna, Santa Cruz, Laguna, Batangas, San Mateo, Rizal, Quezon Province, Calatrava, Romblon, and Caluya, Antique. Stay tuned for Busina Balita at 5:30 p.m. and Newsnight at 6 p.m. I'm Menchu Makapagal. Magandang hapon. Sa ngalan ni Ruth Cabal, ako si Menchu Makapagal. Sa unang pasada ng mga balita, paralisado ang buong operasyon ng Ninoy Aquino International Airport o NAIA dahil sa nakaambang panganib na dala ng bagyong Tisoy sa Kamaynilaan. Simula alas 11 kaninang umaga, tigil operasyon na ang paliparan na magtatagal hanggang alas 11 ng gabi. Pero ayon sa Manila International Airport Authority o MIAA, magdedepende pa raw yan sa magiging panahon mamaya kung kailangang palawigin ang partial closure. Halos 5 domestic at international flights ang kanselado. Paalala ni MIAA General Manager Ed Monreal sa mga apektadong pasahero, huwag nang magpumilit na pumunta pa sa airport. Maghintay na lang raw muna ng abiso mula sa airline company para sa rescheduling at rebooking ng mga canceled flight. Para sa kumpletong listahan ng mga kinanselang biyahe, pumunta lang sa aming website sa www.cnnphilippines.com. Di naman nakaligtas sa bagsik ni Tisoy ang ilang infrastruktura sa Kabikulan. Sa Albay, nasira ang ilang bahagi ng Legazpi City Domestic Airport dahil sa hagupit ng bagyo. Tuklap ang kisame ng paliparan, nagkalat sa sahig ang mga piraso ng plywood at tumaob ang ilang upuan. Nilipad din pati bubong ng airport. Sa panayam sa The Source, siniguro ni Albay Congressman Joey Salceda, magbabalik operasyon ang Legazpi Airport bukas ng umaga. Manual lang raw muna ang operasyon habang inaayos pa ang pinsalang natamo ng paliparan. Hindi rin nakaligtas ang Camarines Norte sa hagupit ng bagyo. Sa video na ito, makikitang napataob ng malakas na hangin ang ilang karatula at nagkalat sa kalsada ang putol-putol na sanga ng puno. Binaha naman ang ilang kalsada sa Atimonan, Quezon. Sa lakas ng hangin, makikita ang pag-agos ng baha at paggalaw ng mga puno. Abiso sa mga motorista sa Metro Manila, sinuspindi na ng MMDA ang pagpapatupad ng number coding scheme simula alas 12 kaninang tanghali. Apektado rin ng bagyong Tisoy ang 30th Southeast Asian Games. Ipinagpaliban ang ilang laro na nakaschedule ngayong araw dahil sa masamang panahon. Ilan sa mga apektadong events ay ang B Division polo matches, sepak takraw at underwater hockey events. Kasama rin sa listahan ang skateboarding competition na dapat sanay gagawin sa Tagaytay City. Pati canoe kayak at windsurfing kinansela rin dahil sa malakas na hangin at malalaking alon dala ng masamang panahon. Maraming salamat sa pagsama ninyo sa amin ngayong hapon. Ako si Menchu Makapagal. Ito ang Busina Balita. Susunod na ang Traffic Center kasama si Sandra Zialcitas.
Let's get the show on the road by checking EDSA Guadalupe, a usual choke point in Metro Manila. Now, if you have plans in Shaw Boulevard in Mandaluyong this evening, expect a long drive. We're seeing a lot of vehicles there and they're moving at a slow pace. But we're seeing less vehicles on the southbound stretch to Hilpuyat Avenue in Makati. Now, let's take you further south to Parañaque City. You're looking at Dr. A. Santos Avenue, and we're seeing hardly any vehicles headed to Sucat in Muntinlupa. Same situation if you're headed to the Skyway ramp to Makati City. Typhoon Tisoy forcing the country's main airport to temporarily stop operations until 11 tonight. Authorities now scrambling to reschedule hundreds of canceled flights. Our AC Nichols tells us more.
On crowded gates and empty check-in counters, the Ninoy Aquino International Airport closed due to heavy rains and strong winds. But a few passengers wait at their assigned terminals in hopes of getting on a plane as soon as possible.
Bagamat malapit lang yung uuwiin ko sa Makati, pero mahirap kasi yung pabalik-balik, may mga bagahe po ako.
Punta lang tayo para malaman natin kung kailan ulit ang flight natin. Yung anak ko naman, nanay, punta ka doon, baka naman hindi ka napapasukin. Kasi huli ka na. Sabi niya, bilisan mo punta ka na dito, baka makahabol ka pa.
Airport officials, however, advised them to wait for the airline's confirmation first.
Sila po ay makipag-ugnayan sa mga airlines na kung saan po sila nakabook dahil sila po ang makakapagsabi kung kailan po sila aalis at yung schedule nila ay itutuloy.
If passengers choose to stay at the airport, then that's up to them. But officials say don't blame them for the inconvenience. The runways and check-in counters are empty, but this room is bustling with activity. We are at the Airport Command and Control Center. This is where officials plot flight schedules, and right now they are busy rescheduling the almost 500 flights that were canceled because of the closure. When operations resume, regularly scheduled flights will take priority. Then a slotting system will be carried out to accommodate recovery flights. Unaffected passengers' chances of getting on a plane will also depend on their destination.
The scheduled flights are also quite full because it's almost peak season, as you know, for travel. So kung ano lang yung pwedeng bakanting upuan dun sa mga scheduled flights, yun ibibigay namin lahat sa mga affected passengers.
In short, there is no assurance. So expect delays and inconvenience. And remember, you can't control the weather, but you can control your attitude. AC Nichols, CNN Philippines.
Meantime, for the complete list of flights, work, and class suspensions, you may visit our social media accounts and our website at cnnphilippines.com. In other news, the Metro Manila Development Authority gearing up for possible emergencies brought about by Typhoon Tisoy. MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia says rescue units have already been deployed all over the metro, and the Interior Department and the Public Works Department have started removing billboards along major roads.
We have more than 24 hours pa to prepare. Ang maganda lang, no, kung matuloy man o hindi yan, nakahanda tayo. No? So we still praying and hoping na sana makaiwas pa, pero kung yan darating talaga, based sa expert natin sa pag-asa, naka-ready naman tayo.
With more rains expected as Typhoon Tisoy closes in on Metro Manila, the MMDA advises motorists to avoid these flood-prone areas. We're flashing a list of flood-prone areas on your screens right now. Meantime, the management of some malls offering free overnight parking for motorists due to bad weather. These are Ayala Malls, Galleria South, SM Supermalls in Metro Manila, and several Robinsons Malls in Cavite, Naga in Camarines Sur, Pampanga, Antipolo, Cainta, and Malabon. Albay Representative Joey Salceda assures passengers that the typhoon-damaged Legazpi Airport will resume operations tomorrow morning. In an interview on the source, Salceda said personnel are still arranging operations manually after Typhoon Tisoy hit Legazpi City. Meanwhile, the Public Works Department continues to clear roads affected by Typhoon Tisoy. Officials plan to make them passable tonight. The 30th Southeast Asian Games also bearing the brunt of Typhoon Tisoy. Several events have been rescheduled in preparation for the effects of the weather disturbance. The canoe-kayak events in Malawaan Park, Subic Bay have been postponed from December 6th to 8th. Windsurfing also in Subic will also be moved, but no definite date yet. Sepak takraw, skateboarding competition, and the finals match for underwater hockey at the Vermosa Sports Hub in Cavite are also affected. However, despite the typhoon, organizers say the SEA Games will not extend beyond December 11th.
The competition continues if necessary, but without spectators. Tuloy ang laro. There's teams, there is technical officials, but without the viewing public. So as long as the category of the typhoon is still manageable, but if it's really strong, then we have to cancel the matches. So postpone or delayed or cancel. No extension. There's always a solution by the technical delegate and to talk to all the participating teams on a possible realignment of the competition format.
But still on the same location, sir? Like, hindi naman po lilipat?
No. It's the same location. When the typhoon passed by, mga 4 hours, tapos na yan. And then we resume again, hopefully.
Time to check again traffic in this bad weather. Here's what to expect on EDSA White Plains Avenue in Quezon City. If you have plans in Cubao, you can expect a good drive. Traffic is looking manageable there. Same situation if you're southbound to Ortigas and Green Hills. On to the other side of the metro, this is Alabang Viaduct on the Skyway, and we're seeing virtually no vehicles on both the southbound and the northbound stretch, so should be an easy drive whether you're headed to Muntinlupa or to Metro Manila. Breaking news here on CNN Philippines. Pag-asa is having a media briefing right now. Let's listen in.
Ay sa Coron, Bonsuanga, Culyon at Linapacan. Sigdan number 1 ay nakataas sa southern portion ng Quirino. Yan po ay sa Nagtipunan. Rest of Aurora, northern portion ng Palawan. Ito yung nasa El Nido, Taytay, Araceli at Dumaran. Rest of Camarines Sur, Cuyo Islands, ito yung Cuyo, Magsaysay at Agutaya, Pangasinan. Southern portion ng Nueva Vizcaya, ang mga lugar po ay Alfonso Castaneda, Aritao, Dupax del Norte, Dupax del Sur, Casibu at Santa Fe, Murias Island at nalalabing bahagi ng Nueva Ecija. Then sa Visayas, meron under ng sigdan number 1, ito yung Northern Aklan, ito yung
This is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Our top stories. At least 4 people are dead as Typhoon Tisoy whips Luzon and the Visayas. Thousands of families forced to evacuate amid flooding, landslides, and power outages. The storm forces some postponements in the Southeast Asian Games. But most competitions go ahead as fans ignore the bad weather to cheer for their favorite athletes. A violent typhoon battering Luzon and the Visayas with its strong winds and heavy rains. Local officials confirm at least 4 people have died at the height of Typhoon Tisoy's wrath. The typhoon also forced hundreds of thousands of families to evacuate, caused flooding, damage to property, and toppled trees and power lines. Hundreds of flights were also suspended, classes and work, mostly government work, canceled, and some Southeast Asian Games postponed. In Quezon Province, Typhoon Tisoy left a trail of destruction as it makes its way to the western Philippines. Our Caroline Bonkin was in the coastal town of Timonan in Quezon earlier. She now reports live via Skype from the provincial capital in Lucena City. Caroline, how is the situation like there now?
Yeah, well, it felt like the winds and the rains wouldn't stop battering Quezon Province earlier this morning. The weather condition here has already improved, but of course, we are still expecting downpours tonight, hopefully not as bad as early this morning. The trees bending to the powerful winds and rains that have been slamming them since midnight Tuesday. The coastal town of Atimonan, Quezon, feeling the strength of Typhoon Tisoy. Roofs and wooden structures flying to every direction. Gusts destroying houses, forcing hundreds to evacuate.
Hindi kami lalabas ng ganyang delikado. Yero, talagang daming lumilipad na yero kanina. At saka talaga grabe yung kalampag ng yero, yung mga sa nakapalibot dito.
The low-lying areas already flooded. These rescuers and social workers drove out under the heavy downpour. They're taking food and water to Barangay Abingan residents who are running low on supply. Fallen trees, some even tripping power cables, delay their response.
Hindi pala tayo talaga pwede, ayaw na nila papasokin tayo.
Village officials just met them halfway to get supplies. The river is rising. Everyone in Barangay Abingan moved to a safer ground.
Yung sa mga gamot, mga moxicillin, yung ilog namin, pag umabis, nagsalubong yung high tide, ay yung buong barangay ko ay baka mapuno ng tubig.
We tried to visit another evacuation center, but we had to back out due to possible flash floods. Inside the school, children slept soundly despite the chaos outside. It's better than their makeshift house beside Maling River, which might overflow anytime. Still, Lenny already wants to go home. Her family evacuated at the last minute.
Wala kaming ibang gaya kundi damit lang. Sa pagmamadali namin, dahil yung dinaanan namin puro mga puno. Tapos naglili parang mga yero. Yung iba naming gamit nandun pa rin.
But they couldn't go back just yet. Not until rescuers are sure it's already safe. Yeah, so late afternoon, there's still heavy rains over Atimonan and Quezon. Authorities are on the lookout for possible floodings. The Atimonan Public Information Officer tells us that over 4,600 families are staying in evacuation centers, and one of them actually gave birth earlier. That she's the one staying in Barangay Balubad. We are currently here in Lucena City, where we're able to get a decent phone signal. Power is still cut in Atimonan and many parts of Quezon Province, but many phone lines are back. Along the road going here to Lucena City, we've seen flooded rice fields and more branches and toppled trees in Pagbilao, Quezon. As of 3 p.m., the Provincial Operations Center has recorded 16,600 families who are staying in evacuation centers across Quezon Province. The police, social workers, and the Quezon provincial government have been working together to send them relief goods, which include rice, sardines, and coffee. Pia.
Caroline Bonkin there reporting live from Quezon. Camarines Sur not spared from the typhoon's wrath. Intense winds and rains hitting the province. Telco services down in some areas. Our correspondent Trisha Terada was supposed to report live from Naga City, but we have yet to contact the team. Authorities, meantime, have recorded one death in the province.
Sa ngayon, wala pa kaming na-monitor na mga casualties except yung nandun sa Libmanan na kuryentihan.
Opo.
Kahapon, Marco Paulo Orsua, kanyang pangalan, ay 33 years old. Yun lamang aming na-monitor na casualties so far. Kasi yung ating areas na medyo na matindi ang tama, yung Sorsogon at saka Catanduanes, ay wala tayong signal ngayon doon. Down yung ating mga telcos. The only communication we have is the radio communications provided by the Philippine Army.
Typhoon Tisoy has weakened, but wind signals still up and heavy rain still affecting many areas. The Weather Bureau Pagasa says signal number 3 is raised over Oriental Mindoro, Occidental Mindoro, including Lubang Island and Batangas. Winds may bring moderate to heavy damage to structures there. Meanwhile, light to moderate damage may be sustained in areas under signal number 2. These include Romblon, Camarines Norte, Metro Manila, Bulacan, Bataan, Tarlac, Pampanga, Rizal, as well as Quezon, Zambales, Marinduque, Cavite, Laguna, the northern portion of Camarines Sur, southern Nueva Ecija, southern Aurora, and the Calamian Islands. Signal number 1 still up over many areas, among them portions of Quirino, Aurora, Palawan, Camarines Sur, Aklan, and Antique. Authorities advise residents to prepare for possible flooding and landslides. Sea travel also risky because of rough seas. Pag-asa says Typhoon Tisoy was last spotted near Occidental Mindoro. Tisoy is forecast to exit the country Thursday afternoon. Typhoon Tisoy ravaged Oriental Mindoro for about 10 hours, leaving 2 people dead and several houses and buildings damaged. Oriental Mindoro Governor Bons Dolor confirms the fatalities were from the towns of Pinamalayan and Baco. The victim in Pinamalayan was hit by a roof, while the 59-year-old victim in Baco was clearing trees in his residence when a fallen tree hit him. The Weather Bureau Pag-asa placed Mindoro provinces among the several areas under wind signal number 3. Typhoon Tisoy also made another landfall in the province at 12:30 this afternoon. Most of the damage was caused by toppled trees, resulting in not only blocked highways, but also pinned down houses and vehicles. In Ormoc City, Leyte, a construction worker who was on a motorcycle was killed when a fallen tree hit him yesterday afternoon. Police said the victim was on his way home from work. He is the only casualty in Ormoc during the onslaught of Typhoon Tisoy. In Samar, police said at least 1 resident was injured in the wake of Typhoon Tisoy. The 35-year-old victim from Gandara town was hit by fallen debris. The Office of Civil Defense in Eastern Visayas said more than 36,000 individuals were displaced in the northern part of the region, particularly the 3 Samar provinces. Not only houses, but also schools were damaged by the typhoon. Toppled trees blocked roads in Calbayog City in Samar. Arteche town reports several villages flooded until this morning. Police said more than 1,800 passengers were stranded in various ports in the region. About 70 towns were also left without electricity. In Legazpi City, Mayor Noel Rosal declared a 0 casualty this morning after assessing the damage. However, power and water supply also affected after the Bicol grid was isolated from the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. The domestic airport in Legazpi City sustained damage during the typhoon. The airport's windows were broken, other parts of the interior were damaged. But Albay 2nd District Representative Joey Salceda says the airport can resume operations tomorrow.
I think we are recovering fast. With respect to that airport, I've talked to CAAP and to Secretary Tugade. We will resume flights tomorrow morning.
Okay.
In fact, yung Metro Manila, kung mag-resume sila, resume na kami.
Yeah, pero it said it sustained some damages, the airport itself.
Ibo-board up lang, magpapadala ng personnel kasi baka yung mga personnel doon ay apektado din. So we'll do manual inspection ng mga baggage kasi ang pinaka-importante lang is security of departure.
Authorities in Manila implementing forced evacuation for families living in flood-prone areas. That's after residents failed to comply with Mayor Isko Moreno's appeal to preemptively evacuate. Our Anjo Alimario reports.
Truck after truck, mothers carrying their babies wrapped in towels, small children oblivious to the danger of the typhoon, and elderly people having a hard time climbing down from the truck. They are all now housed in Del Pan Evacuation Center, safe and dry. They knew things would be different if they chose to stay in their houses in Isla Puting Bato, one of the flood-prone areas in Manila.
Kusa na lang po. Hindi na namin hinihintay pa lumakas yung alon.
Bakit?
Mas mahirap na po pag lumakas yung alon tsaka kami lilikas, di ba? May bata pa.
Dati kasi yung bahay namin, yung higaan namin, inabot ng dagat. Yung nakaraang taon na bumagyo. Kaya ngayon, lumikas na lang kami kusa.
Manila Mayor Isko Moreno initially appealed to his constituents on Monday night to evacuate on their own. But city disaster officials had to intervene.
Ginawa po natin ngayon ay sapilitang paglilikas na po para po sila ay madala dito sa ating evacuation center.
Angeles says they don't want a repeat of last year, wherein several houses were washed away because of strong waves.
Paramihan po talaga ng bahay dito po sa Isla Puting Bato ay nakatusok lang po ang bahay sa tabi po ng dagat. Bali ang gamit po nila na parang patigas po o yung parang haligi nila ay mga bamboo lamang po.
A number of families have also been evacuated from Baseco and Barangay 105 or Happy Land. Manileños and others who are affected by the typhoon are hoping and praying that the worst is over and they can go back to their houses soon. Anjo Alimario, CNN Philippines.
Welcome back to CNN Philippines. Typhoon Tisoy forcing the country's main airport to temporarily halt operations until 11 tonight. Authorities now scrambling to get hundreds of affected passengers on the next available flights. Our AC Nichols tells us more.
On crowded gates and empty check-in counters, the Ninoy Aquino International Airport closed due to heavy rains and strong winds. But a few passengers wait at their assigned terminals in hopes of getting on a plane as soon as possible.
Bagamat malapit lang yung uuwiin ko sa Makati, pero mahirap kasi yung pabalik-balik, may mga bagahe po ako.
Punta lang tayo para malaman natin kung kailan ulit ang flight natin. Yung anak ko naman, nanay, punta ka doon, baka naman hindi ka napapasukin. Hexe, huli ka na. Sabi niya, bilisan mo nang, sabi niya, punta ka na dito, baka makahabol ka pa.
Airport officials, however, advised them to wait for the airline's confirmation first.
Sila po ay makipag-ugnayan sa mga airlines na kung saan po sila nakabook dahil sila po ang makakapagsabi kung kailan po sila aalis at yung schedule nila ay itutuloy.
If passengers choose to stay at the airport, then that's up to them. But officials say don't blame them for the inconvenience. The runways and check-in counters are empty, but this room is bustling with activity. We are at the Airport Command and Control Center. This is where officials plot flight schedules, and right now they are busy rescheduling the almost 500 flights that were canceled because of the closure. When operations resume, regularly scheduled flights will take priority. Then a slotting system will be carried out to accommodate recovery flights. Unaffected passengers' chances of getting on a plane will also depend on their destination.
The scheduled flights are also quite full because it's almost peak season, as you know, for travel. So kung ano lang yung pwedeng bakanting upuan dun sa mga scheduled flights, yun ibibigay namin lahat sa mga affected passengers.
In short, there is no assurance. So expect delays and inconvenience. And remember, you can't control the weather, but you can control your attitude. AC Nichols, CNN Philippines.
Now, those heading to Boracay via Caticlan might also need to reschedule their travel plans. The Philippine Coast Guard canceling Ro-Ro trips from Caticlan to Roas Mindoro, Bulalacao, Oriental Mindoro, Batangas Port, and vice versa. Motorbank operations from Bangka operations from Caticlan to Santa Fe, Looc, and San Jose, Romblon, and vice versa also canceled. Local authorities already announcing earlier that swimming and other water activities temporarily prohibited. Heavy rains and winds brought by Typhoon Tisoy also felt strongest on the island last night. Boracay just reopened to the public in April this year after being closed for a 6-month rehabilitation. Now, even the 30th Southeast Asian Games feeling the impact of Typhoon Tisoy. Some sports scheduled for today had to be moved to ensure the safety of athletes. Our sports desk anchor Charles Tew has more. Charles?
Hi, Pia. That's right. The country's hosting of a regional sporting event also feeling the effects of Typhoon Tisoy. A number of events in the SEA Games were postponed as Tisoy brings rains to several areas in Luzon, the site of some venues. Here's a look at the affected sports. Organizers moved most of the events in the Subic cluster. Among the sports affected by the typhoon are beach volleyball, modern pentathlon, canoe-kayak, sailing, and surfing. These games are played in open areas or in the waters. Some indoor events like Muay Thai and Pencak Silat were also postponed and are set to resume tomorrow, depending on the weather. Some sports to be held in southern Luzon were also rescheduled. These include underwater hockey, skateboarding, and polo. Organizers look to stage these events tomorrow, but they say this will depend on the actual weather conditions. And the modern Petang event, which takes place in Clark, Pampanga, was moved to December 4th. No word yet on the new schedule of sports to be staged in this area. We're still waiting for further announcement for the wakeboarding, golf, and aquatics events for tomorrow. The country's gymnastics world champion settling for silver in his second event in the SEA Games. Carlos Yulo is looking to bag another medal as he competes in one more event in artistic gymnastics. Pauline Versosa has more details from Manila. Pauline, what's the latest there?
Well, 19-year-old Carlos Yulo already bagged his second medal in the 30th Southeast Asian Games today after easily topping the floor exercise event earlier with a score of 14.700, the same event where he won a title in the World Championship last October. You did mention it. Yulo, however, fell short in the puddle horse event where he bagged silver. The world champion received a score of 13.233, while Malaysia's Fuji Tan clinched the gold after scoring 13.967. Yulo, however, still has a chance to bag 2 out of the 3 gold medals at stake today by doing well on the still rings, which is the next event. The finals of that apparatus is up next after the women's uneven bars event, which is already ongoing. Tomorrow, Yulo will also aim to go for a sweep in his last 3 events, including vault, parallel bars, and horizontal bars here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Charles?
All right, Pauline, thank you so much for that report. The Philippines is 1 gold medal away from doubling its output in the 2017 SEA Games. The country finished with 24 medals in the previous regional meet. Let's go to Paulo Barcelon. He joins us from the International Broadcast Center in Clark, Pampanga. Paulo, how's the medal race looking now?
Well, Charles, the Philippines maintains its dominance on the 3rd official day of competition for the 30th Southeast Asian Games. We have 47 gold, 29 silver, and 16 bronze medals as of the moment. First off, Arnis continued to greatly contribute to the Philippines medal haul by winning a total of 14 out of the 47 gold medals the country won in the last 3 days. Arnisador Chris Samuel Delfin and Arnisadora Mary Aline Aldeguer sealed the country's dominance in Arnis after winning 2 gold medals in the non-traditional open weapon events this morning. In Wushu, Agatha Wong became the country's golden girl after snagging a second straight gold medal event in the women's Taijijian event. That's a huge notch up her 2017 SEA Games silver medal win. The country's Wushu Sanda athletes also delivered 5 gold medals for the Philippines as Francisco Solis, Divine Wali, Jessie Aligaga, Arnel Mandal, and Clemente Tabugara won their Wushu Sanda bouts. Wushu also helped the Philippines gain a bronze medal after the men's duels team secured a 3rd place finish. Meantime, weightlifting proving to be another medal sport as we get 2 silver medals. Elrin Ann Ando and Margaret Colonia each got a silver in the women's 64 and 59 kilograms events respectively, while former Olympian Nestor Colonia meanwhile settled for bronze after finishing 3rd place in the men's 67 kilogram category. Now a quick check, Charles, on the medal standings as of 6 p.m. Vietnam is in 2nd place with 22 gold medals, while Indonesia is now at 3rd place with 12 golds to boot. Meantime, the gap widens for the 4th and 5th places as Malaysia has a 5 gold lead over Thailand, 12 golds against Thailand 7. Charles?
All right, Paulo, thank you so much again for that report. Pia?
Charles, just wanted to ask you, does the country's hosting impact on the gold medal haul?
Well, Pia, I would like to say so, only for the simplest reason that the country, well, the host country has the liberty to choose certain events. And historically speaking, you look at the host countries. Last year, Malaysia was the host, last SEA Games rather, and they won that one. They won twice when they were the host. Vietnam won when they were the host. Last time we were the host, we also won. So I would say that hosting, well, does have a positive impact on the country's chances for winning the SEA Games. And that's all from my end for now, but we'll bring you more updates on the SEA Games within the evening. I'm Charles Tew. Back to you, Pia.
Charles Tew there reporting on the SEA Games. And that is it for tonight. Politics as usual comes your way at 7. I'm Pia Ontiveros.
Majority of the flights will be operated by tomorrow. Without this aircraft coming back to their hub here in Manila, recovery or normalcy of the operation will not be achieved. So ganun po at pinayagan po namin na magkaroon ho sila ng mounting ng mga flights. Karamihan ho, most of them are ferry-in. Ibig sabihin ho nun, wala hong pasahero. Ang iba ho ay tawag ho live-in, meaning may lamang pasahero from domestic origin. From 11 onwards, we will be able now to accommodate all scheduled flights, meaning the regularly scheduled flights from 11 onwards hanggang 1:30 tonight, early morning. Yan po ay i-operate ng mga regular flights. It's a combination of domestic, a combination of arrival and departure of international flights. During at 1:30 to 3:30, that period will be allotted to international or foreign carriers that will request for recovery flights. Meaning, kung may mga additional flights sila ngayon na gustong idagdag, doon po namin sila ipapasok at doon po sila magdarating at mag-aalis. What we estimate is from 3:30 in the morning onwards, we are hoping to go back to normalcy since majority and if not all of the aircraft are back here in Manila. The earliest arrival, according to the airlines, Philippine Airlines will be able to bring in all the aircraft until about 1 a.m. this morning. Ang AirAsia, they are targeting 11 p.m. tonight to bring all the aircraft as well. Cebu Pacific and Sebgo, their target arrival, according to them, is from 7 p.m. tonight until around 11 p.m. So basically, with all those schedules coming in and bringing the aircraft, we are quite confident that the flights will go back to normalcy by tomorrow. However, I would like to reemphasize this, that passengers should still contact their respective airlines to ensure and confirm that they are not encouraged to come to the airport as a chance passenger. Kami po ay nakikiusap sa lahat ng pasahero na bago ho sila pumunta sa paliparan, kailangan ho confirm po ang booking nila. It's difficult to take chances right now because of this situation. So ako po ay nakikiusap, uulitin ko po, ang mga pasahero pagdating po ng oras ng alas 11 hanggang bukas na po, ay pumunta po sila sa airport kung confirm po ang inyong mga flights. So I'll recap. At 6 o'clock tonight, the runway is declared open. It has been swept to ensure that there's no FOD or potholes or what have you as a result of the passing typhoon. So clear po ang runway natin at pwede na pong gamitin ng 6 o'clock hanggang 11. Yung recovery flights po ng mga airlines, specifically domestic carriers, ay ibabalik na ho rito sa paliparan. From 11 tonight, lahat hong regular scheduled flights.
This is Politics as Usual. I'm Pia Ontiveros. However, it isn't quite politics as usual because tonight we wanted to keep tabs on what weather forecasters predicted would be a potentially destructive storm, and it has been. We're talking about Tisoy that is still affecting many areas in Luzon and the Visayas. Sorsogon, the province of Sorsogon in the Bicol region, badly hit. It was under fire for 12 hours. Photographs showing uprooted trees, damaging structures. Typhoon Tisoy made landfall in the town of Gubat in the province last night before hitting land again in Nauhan, a town in Oriental Mindoro, this afternoon. CNN Philippines earlier spoke to the governor of Sorsogon province, Chis Escudero. He said they implemented evacuation orders last week in towns that will suffer the most damage.
Biyernes pa lamang nagbigay na ako ng kautusan para magkaroon ng forced preemptive evacuation. At ang humigit kumulang na evacuate namin ng mga taong na evacuation centers mula sa kulang-kulang kalahati ng mga barangay na nasa danger zone ay umabot sa mahigit 50,000. Pinatay ang kuryente rito ng NGCP dahil may ilang torres silang tinamaan. At gayon din, pinagutos ko rin na putulin muna ang kuryente sa dalawang electric offices namin. Dahil maraming poste ang bumagsak na nakatali sa mga punong bumagsak din. At sa aming clearing operations para matiyak na bukas sa lahat ng kalye in case may emergency, ay kailangan mo nang putulin yung kuryente dahil baka may ma-accident o ma-kuryente habang nag-clearing operations kami. About 8 reports of landslide, pero minor lang naman, sakali lang at walang nadisgrasang tao. Dahil nga rin sa preemptive evacuation namin, at forced preemptive evacuation namin pinatupad. Pangalawa, ang estimated damage namin ngayon, which is clearly partial, ay tinataya namin sa 667 million pa lamang.
Well, we're going to speak to Governor Escudero right now live on the phone. Sir, good evening. Thank you for taking our call.
Good evening to all of our televiewers and pleasant evening as well.
Yes, plenty of damage to structures there, Governor.
We're in the process of doing inventory, Pia, but as of 9 a.m. insofar as structures are concerned, it is at 667. We will be getting another update, or rather we got another update as of time during the process of consolidating it. But the better report is that as of 6 p.m. tonight, and all of our municipalities have reported, there are no reported missing, or neither are there any casualties.
All right. We're having a bit of a problem with the communications line, Governor. Perhaps it has to do with the storm too. But you were saying 667 structures have been damaged.
Million worth of agriculture assets of the province were destroyed. In so far as infrastructure, we have yet to get the complete report. We expect that to be in by 8 a.m. tomorrow.
All right. But like you were saying also, no missing, no casualties, at least in that province, in your province.
That is correct, and that is a source of inspiration for all of our GRRM officials at the local and provincial level.
All right. What else can you tell us, Governor, about how your province, well, survived Tisoy?
Power is out as early as Friday. We already declared no classes for Monday and Tuesday, and we also said a forced preemptive evacuation as of Friday, which was fully implemented as early as Sunday evening, which gave us a 24-hour window to make sure that indeed everyone who had to be out of the danger zones would be in the evacuation centers.
Right. It's good, like you said, again, we repeat, no casualties there in your province, although you did prepare for that possibility, given that this was a strong typhoon and you never really know what to expect, right, Gov?
Well, ironically, they told us only at 4 p.m. that this would hit landfall in Quezon. For about the past 3 days, in fact, since last week, they were telling us it would hit landfall either in Catanduanes or Albay. They gave us a 2-hour window that it will actually hit in Sorsogon, particularly the municipalities of Gubat and Puerto Diaz. That's why at 6 p.m., when the outer eye of the storm was entering Puerto Diaz and Gubat, I had to make sure indeed the towns were prepared to receive the onslaught of Typhoon Tisoy, given that, as earlier reported 2 hours before, that would be the site of the landfall of Typhoon Tisoy. I just thought that at some point in time would have a more accurate weather forecasting on the part not only of Gaza but internationally, because Taiwan, Singapore, Japan, the United States, none of them said that it was going to hit Sorsogon 2-3 days before. They only told us it was going to hit us again 2 hours before. Gaza told us it would hit us 2 hours before.
Wow, just 2 hours before landfall. That's a little bit of a very scary situation there, Governor Cheese Escudero. Yes.
And typically, Tisoy was at 13.1 degrees north. A 0.2 degree shift at 12.9, it would hit Sorsogon at 13.1 it won't. I just hope at some point in time they would be able to develop technology that can more accurately predict where it would hit so that those who need to prepare would be able to adequately prepare.
All right. Governor Cheese Escudero of Sorsogon, thank you very much for coming to the phone. Albay, the province of Albay, also in the Bicol region, not spared either. But while Legazpi City Mayor Noel Rosal declared 0 casualties this morning after assessing the damage, power and water supply affected after the Bicol grid was isolated from the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. The domestic airport in Legazpi City sustained heavy damage during the typhoon. The airport's windows were broken and other parts of the interior were damaged. But Albay 2nd District Representative Joey Salceda says the airport can resume operations tomorrow.
I think we are recovering fast. With respect to that airport, I've talked to Kaap and to Secretary Tugade. We will resume flights tomorrow morning.
Okay.
In fact, yung Metro Manila, kung mag-resume sila, resume na kami.
Yeah, pero it said it sustained some damages, the airport itself.
Ibo-board up lang, magpapadala ng personnel kasi baka yung mga personnel doon ay apektado din. So we'll do manual inspection ng mga baggage kasi ang pinaka-importante lang is security of departure.
I didn't hear you. We have here in the studio the spokesperson of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRMC, Mark Timbal. Good evening, Mark. Welcome to Pulse as usual. All right. Give us an update first on what is happening in the different areas that have been affected by Tisoy.
The provinces that had the first landfall encounter, we were already able to deploy our assessment teams to check on the damages that had been sustained in the different communities. So far, the damages...
Yeah, Mark, sorry. When you say deploy these assessment teams, they're coming from where?
These are the regional disaster council teams.
Disaster,
yes.
yeah.
And they have submitted to us the initial report that that's the usual damages left by major storms are the ones that had been encountered in Bicol. The fallen trees, the bahay kubos that have fallen, the roofs that had been flown away, and as well as the damage in Legazpi City domestic airport. And I would like to confirm that what Congressman Salceda said, that the airport can possibly resume services immediately because in our initial assessment, the problem was just the ceiling of the airport just fell down and the furnitures got misplaced, I suppose, because of the strong wind.
Resume when? Tomorrow?
Hopefully tomorrow, that's what he said. But in this case, some adjustments would have to be done. But if the equipment of the control tower is still okay, then and there's no impediment in the runway, then we can.
But we don't know that yet, no? What is the
this is
update
just
from
a preliminary
about the
assessment from our teams on the ground.
All right. You know, what does this mean, no? When we have so much heavy damage? Does this mean that structures, and I'm not just talking about the airport, no, but like, for example, in Sorsogon, no? So many really heavy damage to multiple structures. What does this mean? That we have structures that cannot withstand signal number 3, signal number 2, or is it because the storm is too strong, or we just don't build strong enough?
The philosophy for NDRMC is that we have to build resilient structures. After these cases wherein we encountered heavy damages in structures, the restoration should be more into the build back better. That this structure should be able to withstand these kinds of storms, earthquakes, etc., so that the destruction would not happen again. This is also the destruction is also a comment on the possible building styles or the technology that was used during the building of these structures, because sometimes houses are just built for the purpose of just having a home. There are no they did not observe the proper structural engineering interventions as well as the National Building Code. That's why they're both susceptible for collapse in case of earthquake.
So we're talking about a very strict compliance with the building code,
yes,
and perhaps even a stronger law, right?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, there is a legislative activity now that moves for the revisiting of the National Building Code in view of the earthquakes as well as the other hazards that are occurring around the country.
This is a concern, of course, for NDRMC because we're not just talking about relief and reaction after a storm. We're talking about preparation for a storm. And when we say preparation, we're not just talking about, you prepare your survival kits, your go bags. And we're talking about building structures, the word used, resilient, that can withstand any major disaster, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. And what we have been reminding our citizens that if they are building structures, they should observe the proper procedures and they shouldn't cut corners so as to make the necessary savings. But they should ensure that the house is built to last, or the structures are built to last against any hazard.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, I wanted to ask you also, because part of the concern of NDRMC is relief and rescue also to a certain extent. We're going to take a quick break. The coverage of Typhoon Tisoy here on Politics as Usual will continue. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Politics as Usual. We're talking about Typhoon Tisoy in Quezon Province. The typhoon left a trail of destruction. Our Caroline Bonquin was in the coastal town of Atimonan earlier. She now joins us on the phone from the provincial capital in Lucena City. Caroline, tell us what you saw today.
In the past 9 years that I've been covering typhoon, I can say that this is by far one of the strongest typhoon that I've experienced. By midnight, I woke up by midnight, and I've been hearing the wind pounding the door of the door near my hotel room. When I looked outside the window, I can see how crazy it was out there. The wind was just blowing into one direction, and there are a lot of rainfall. And by morning, by morning, the winds and the rains have intensified, and there are just a lot of flying debris on the road. I've seen wood. I've seen detached metal roofs from houses. Yeah.
And can you tell us more about, with all that rain that fell on all these areas that na dinaanan ng Tisoy, what are the reports about landslides?
Okay.
Any landslides?
So far, I can only report about the situation in Atimonan, Quezon. And so far, there was no reported landslide, but there are a lot of fallen trees. So earlier this morning, the public information officer told us that the Maharlika Highway along Atimonan, Quezon are not passable to vehicles. That's the one that the bus is going to and from Bicol and Manila passes through up. And then aside from that, there are a lot of flooded areas in Atimonan, Quezon, but a lot of those areas are actually okay now. The water has subsided by afternoon, Pia.
Yeah, when you say many of these areas are all right or okay now, for example, you said that major highway, na Panay, fallen trees, those were cleared right away. That's one of the first things local officials do. They need to clear the roads because that is our access point to any possible disaster area.
Yes, Pia, and also pati yung fallen debris, fallen trees along Maharlika Highway going to Pagbilao, Quezon earlier. We saw a lot of local government employees taking out the trees because there are a lot of huge trees, branches blocking the road, Pia.
All right.
The main highway.
Okay. Anything else, Caroline?
Pia, sorry?
Yeah, anything else?
Okay. Pia, so far we have fairly calm weather here in Lucena City, and I can say the same for its nearby towns, Sariaya, Pagbilao, and Atimonan. Nestor Almagro, the public information officer, just got off the phone with him, and he told me that they also have good weather over there, so they might be able to send the evacuees back home tomorrow morning, Pia.
All right, Caroline Bonquin there, reporting from the province of Quezon, one of those badly hit. Martin Bal of NDRMC spokesperson still here. Just one question, Mark. The question I asked Caroline if they were able to clear the trees, because that is one of the most important things that authorities need to do right after a storm or when the weather clears up a bit, to clear the roads, right?
That's correct. One of the lessons that we have learned is that in the past experiences was we have to preposition support as well as the response items and equipment assets in areas that will experience this greater impact of a storm or any hazard. That's why prior to the arrival of Tisoy, we were able to preposition DPWH equipment in the locality so that once the storm passes, we can immediately proceed with the road clearing operations.
Yeah, and of course, when you clear the road, that means you get access to, like I was saying, possible disaster areas. If you need to evacuate people, you need to do a medevac or whatever, you need to rush over. And sometimes when you have a road that's blocked, that can be a really big problem, right?
And the good thing here is those areas are not disaster areas because they were able to actually respond and perhaps in a day or two get back to normal as if nothing happened.
And of course, that's something that we always have to remember, no? Because there will be other future big weather disturbances, and we need to be able to do that. Now, in the meantime, the Southeast Asian Games, of course, were off to a rocky start with logistics issues, and then regained its bearings with an opening ceremony that wowed. Now, temporarily and literally giving way to the typhoon. Our Paulo Barcelon joining us live from the International Broadcast Center in Clark. Paulo, tell us more about this.
Hi, Pia. It's been a gloomy day here at the International Broadcast Center in Clark, Pampanga. There's been rains and wind all day, and these rains and winds actually did affect the conduct of the 30th Southeast Asian Games. Let's start with the postponed sporting events, as Tisoy brought rains to several areas in Luzon, which is the site of some venues. In the Subic cluster, some of the events that were moved or cancelled were beach volleyball, modern pentathlon, canoe kayak, sailing, and surfing. These games are usually played in the water or at open areas. Now, some indoor events such as sepak takraw, muay thai, and penchak silat were also postponed. They're also set to resume tomorrow depending on the weather condition. Now, some sports to be held in southern Luzon were also rescheduled, first of which is the 0-2 division event of the polo matches, in which it was held, or it's supposed to be held in Calatagan, Batangas. Also, the underwater hockey matches in Cavite were postponed. So were the skateboarding matches that were supposed to be held in Tagaytay. They're also depending on the actual weather conditions tomorrow on whether or not these events would take place. Also, the modern petanque event, which takes place in Clark, Pampanga, it was moved to December 4th. No word yet on when the new schedule of the sports will be staged in this area. We're also waiting for further announcement for wakeboarding, golf, and the other aquatics events set for tomorrow. Now, in terms of the transmission of the sporting events of the 30th Southeast Asian Games, there was a brief or football match transmission briefly got affected by the rains after an outside broadcast venue in the Rizal Memorial Stadium in Manila got flooded this afternoon. But the transmission of that match is now ongoing, and it will be sent to the various host broadcasters of the 11 participating nations of the Southeast Asian Games. Pia?
Yeah, Paolo, but of course, if the show can go on, it must go on. There were some games, some events that did push through.
Yes, Pia, actually some of these are mostly the indoor venues, like the one that's going on behind me, which is the volleyball women's event. The Philippines is actually competing in that right now. The billiards event also pushed through in Manila. So were the weightlifting events and the wushu events, where Agatha Wong got her second SEA Games gold medal. Also, we also got word that the badminton events in Manila also pushed through. Those events were held at the Muntinlupa Sports Complex earlier today. And the football matches also continued on in the Rizal Memorial Stadium in Manila, and these are just some of the events that pushed through today. We're still hoping that some of the events scheduled for tonight would also get pushed through, but we're also going to wait on word from FISCOC regarding this. Pia?
And not bad, huh? In spite of Tisoy and the initial rocky start, the medal haul for the host country, the Philippines, quite big, no?
Yes, Pia, we still have 47 golds, 29 silvers, and 16 bronze medals. The latest one coming from Carlos Yulo's conquest earlier this afternoon. Now, we're also waiting on the other gold medals that will be contested in the next few days. In fact, according to the schedule I got from FISGOC, the most intense, or I could say intense, days for the 30th Southeast Asian Games would be on December 8 and 9. These are when most of the athletics events will be contested. In fact, on December 8, we have a total of 83 golds at stake. On December 9, there's 86 golds at stake. So we will be definitely watching what's going to happen on December 8 and 9, as these are just days away from the closing ceremony of the 30th Southeast Asian Games. Pia?
Paulo Barcelon there reporting live. Metro Manila under signal number 2. Let's check what is the latest assessment from authorities. We have on the phone MMDA's Task Force Special Operations Commander Bong Nebrija. Good evening, sir. Welcome to Politics as usual.
Good evening, Pia. Good evening to all your viewers.
So can we begin with the traffic situation? Quite a number of people were saying that the roads were clear. There were less vehicles on the road today.
Actually, it started yesterday with the class suspension in many of the LGUs in Metro Manila. That really stopped the traffic, and that made our job easier, particularly facilitating the movement of the SEA Games athletes from the hotel to the game venues. And until this morning and afternoon, it was quite light.
MMDA, of course, has to deal with, like you mentioned, the movement of the SEA Games athletes. At the same time, you have to deal with Typhoon Tisoy, like we said, Metro Manila under signal number 2. What was it like to have to pay attention to these two, not necessarily events, no, but two matters, two things?
Yes, Pia, that's true. Actually, we have 7 mandates at MMDA, and 2 of the crucial mandates that we have is traffic management and flood control. And it is during, and plus public safety, I may add. So all of these 3 really play a big role during this time of year where typhoons are prevalent in Metro Manila. This includes Tisoy right now, and Chairman and GM Jojo Garcia have their plates full. This morning they inspected the readiness of the public safety personnel that we have, and they also inspected the different pumping stations in Libertad, particularly Parañaque, where it overflows when heavy rains pour down in Metro Manila.
All right, Mr. Bong Nebrija, MMDA Traffic Chief. Sir, thank you very much for being with us. We're going to take a very quick break. Politics as usual. Be right back. Welcome back. Mark Timbal, the NDRMC, still here with us. Mark, tell us very quickly about the preparations you put in place for the SEA Games.
Yes, the Office of Civil Defense under the NDRMC is one of the chairs for the Emergency Preparedness Task Group for the SEA Games. When the storm was actually detected way outside the Philippine Air responsibility, we were actually joking that maybe someone wants to watch the games because
someone?
Tisoy. During that time, Kamuri pa siya. Yeah. And when it was finalized that it is going to enter the Philippine Air responsibility and hit land, the main direction of the storm was in the areas that the outdoor activities will be done for the SEA Games. So we were joking that he really wanted to watch the games. But when he realized that the games, the outdoor events will be postponed because of him, then he changed direction. Instead of a landfall in Catanduanes, Tisoy chose Sorsogon and decided to go to Oriental Mindoro instead.
Right, and of course that upset Governor Escudero. Like he was saying earlier, 2 hours lang ang binigay sa kanya to prepare for that landfall. But anyway, we need to say goodbye to you. But very quickly, a lot of people were talking about the NDRMC alert in the early morning hours, waking up a lot of people.
That's correct. The alert system that we are implementing now is part of the mandate of the Mobile Disaster Alerts Law. So we're required to actually send warning signals. And when you receive an alert, that means you are in a location where you are exposed to the hazard. In this case,
and no matter the time, no?
That's correct.
Okay.
And this is to ensure that everyone is informed as well as ready to do what is necessary to be able to keep themselves safe.
Well, just a while ago, you were saying there's a difference with the iPhone alert and
that's correct.
Yeah, iPhone alert is? Quickly?
Oh yeah, it sounds like a klaxon. That's why you feel so panicked when you hear it. And some people even tagged it as a mini heart attack.
Mini heart attack, yeah.
If it rings. But
Okay.
some mobile phones, I think even in Samsung, it's a bit more
calmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna have a mini heart attack if we don't end the show right now. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Martin
very
Baldi and the RBC, and thank you for watching Politics as Usual. I'm Pia Ontiveros.